In the landscape of figure photography, one group strived for tangible and dynamic displays.
No time to explain, get in the rows!
Y'all ready?
Yeah, let's go.
We are live, Bug.
Oh, we are live. Yes, sir. We're officially back at it.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. Love and tradition of the grand design. Some people say it's even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. 'Cause all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every scene. Days go by, it's the bigger love of the family.
The Articulated Comic Book Art Podcast is filmed in front of a live virtual audience and is funded in part by viewers just like you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. Boog Nice coming at you with the Articulated Comic Book Art Podcast, episode 278. I'm your host, Boog Nice. Got my boys with me, Rick Dom, Cable 2345, Fabster 360, Pan Cheesy, Poncho.
That's me.
Oh, all right. All right, there he is. All right. Oh, look at that shit. All for one and one for all.
That's it.
How you guys
Wait,
doing?
is Poncho's camera on?
It is.
Yes, it is. Why, you can't see it?
I'm going to leave and come back.
That's rough.
All right.
Yeah, we almost nailed it.
Almost. All right, 48 hours later. What's going on?
How's it going? How's everybody doing?
What up?
I can't see him, and I'm just going to cry myself to sleep tonight, so it's
Oh,
good.
no.
Oh, that's cool, man. It's not that serious.
It wasn't meant to be.
Is that a mirror behind you, Fabio? It is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's...
It just makes the room look twice as big. It's an illusion. Boog. You don't have time for my illusions.
So close to Halloween. A house of mirrors over there.
Yeah. I got my Lakers purple on.
There you go.
Close.
All right, what's going on, boys? Do we have a agenda?
I
Oh,
don't even know
no.
what's on the end.
we're pushing whatever we want on the audience. That's the agenda.
I'm just
No,
here.
there's some news. There's some SHF, a lot of SHF stuff. These past couple days because they're doing that exhibition in France, I think.
Yeah, Paris.
Mhm.
Well, I'm just thankful
Paris,
to have this platform to
Paris.
spread my views, and I've been working on this really great manifesto that I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on.
Excellent.
One of your characters is going to get you in a lot of trouble one day, Fabio. Some would say it may already have.
I know
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I have it already.
the amount of times that people have hit me up like, "What's up with your boy Fabio?" And I've been like, "Dude, that wasn't serious at all." He's joking, right? Or when people message, "What about that episode where Fabio said this?" And it's like, man, come
What
on.
about it?
Can't tell sarcasm, buddy. What are we doing here?
I mean, the good news is that you have thousands of hours, maybe even tens of thousands at this point, to comb through to find stuff. So, I mean, have at it.
Please do.
Oh, not
Please
the
do.
open invitation. No.
There's many Uncle Rick moments that'll set you ablaze.
But I will say, though, unrelated to this is actually me talking. I went to a concert last night. It was fucking awesome.
You at a concert? I don't think that's possible. Are you sure?
Yeah. Found myself down in San Diego with Kyle, and we went to go see Haunt. It's this up-and-coming band from Fresno, up by your neck of the woods, I think, Rick, right?
Yeah. You told me about them not that long ago.
Yeah. So we saw Ghost twice, and then Haunt. Just a very spooky band-themed week.
Quite a spooky 7 days you had, huh?
That's right, yeah. Fans of another YouTuber here, Kyle Peterson, he's always flying the flag for Haunt and just heavy metal in general. So we found out about this band literally through their logo and like their art. We just saw like one of their shirts, me and Kyle, and we were like, okay, let's check out this band. Hope they don't suck because we gotta earn wearing their merchandise. And they've become just one of my favorite bands. And we were having this conversation last night, like afterwards. Like it really is at that point where like in 10, 15 years, we'll be like, yeah, man, we liked Haunt before they were cool, you know? It's literally like at that level now. It was the last show of their tour down in San Diego. And, you know, like it's a small venue. There wasn't really like a, you know, huge crowd or anything. So it really still is at that like grassroots level, but just really good. Like they call it NWOTHM, new wave of traditional heavy metal. Yeah.
Do they really say that?
No, of course, man. Come on, man. Yeah. Real metalheads just argue about subgenres for like hours on end until you watch the show, and then you.
What was the concert in the Gas Lamp?
No, it was at Brick by Brick. It's a little venue, a little outside of like main downtown San Diego, I guess.
A pizza joint.
Yeah, something like that. No, it was like a bar, but it had like a real stage set up and everything. But
damn, I was really imagining. I was imagining a Denny's moment. What's up? What's up?
What's up?
What the fuck is up, Denny's? What the fuck is up, Denny's? That's
it
what
might
I
as well have been. It could have been. It very easily could have been an album release party at a Shakey's Pizza, like Papa Roach. But it was a real venue.
Did you see that that other band that did that in an IHOP?
Amazing.
It's incredible, and they did exactly the same thing. What the fuck is up, IHOP? I was like, what?
Yeah,
what world am I on?
You know what's funny was that there back in the day there used to be this thing here in the local area. It's gone now. It used to be called Nickel City. It was a nickel arcade that was like really dope and like the only affordable thing you could really do if you were like a middle schooler.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times there was this little back room where kids could have their parties, and there wasn't a party being thrown. It was a fucking random ass band like every Friday fucking up that nickelcade.
Good.
There's no alcohol there. There's no food. Like it's just these dudes like in that little back room while there's like middle schoolers playing the fucking Ninja Turtles arcade game and like.
It very much reminds me of where like when I was in high school, all my friends that played in bands, you know, there would be the local venues that we would go see them at. And in Long Beach, everybody would always play D Piazzas. It pretty much was a Shakey's Pizza with a little stage, and it was right around when screamo and post-hardcore were like really coming on the scene. It was a lot of bands like that, a lot of what you would see at that WTF IUD sort of video.
That's incredible.
The other cool thing about Haunt too is when he's up there like doing crowd work, bantering with the audience and stuff, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm so excited! Last show of the tour, getting to go back to my 4-year-old son. I have 98 Masters of the Universe Origins figures for him to open. Like everywhere he's been traveling, he's been picking up things, he's been buying them and getting delivered at home, and he's like, me and Kyle look at each other and we're like, is he one of us?
Oh my god!
So we ended up getting to chat with Trevor. We call him Mr. Haunt affectionately, but Trevor is his name. Mr. Haunt. We got to chat with him for quite a while actually after the show while he was like packing up gear and everything, and just a night of fun. It turned into some great networking, long and short of it. And hopefully when season 3 of Fobster Live returns, I will have some very exciting guests in the heavy metal realm. Not just Mr. Haunt, but some others as well. So very excited for that.
Danzig? Is that who you're alluding to?
Man,
a grocery store stream?
Glenn to answer my phone calls, man.
Oh man, grocery store stream would have been awesome. It would have been a real Booker T and Steven and Stone Cold Steve Austin situation. Just tear up the milk aisle.
I'll do a StreamYard giveaway, but the hashtag to enter is Tidy Cat.
No,
because Glenn Danzig loves his cat food.
There you go.
Wait, that's cat litter, isn't it?
If it's for cats, he's down. Yeah, that's the kitty litter.
I got something to say. I fed my kitties today. Yeah, that's Glenn.
Yeah,
really good. Right. Really good time.
We're gonna tie that into a toy in some kind of way.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, because look how great their merchandise is and how toyetic some of their art is. There you go. What do we got for toys?
Decent.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to one of two of Between Two Sentinels, Machu Toys, the man, the myth.
Oh,
Hooked
let's
me
go.
Shout out to Machu Toy.
Hooked me up, baby.
I don't know what you're showing.
That's right. Why can't you see me? That's unreal.
Describe it
know.
with your eyes.
Making me upset.
Something's wrong with your computer. I don't know what it is.
I'm using an iPad.
Oh, that's crazy.
It does say you're on mobile, yeah.
It's Kid Goku. New York store Kid Goku.
Nice.
There you go.
Hey, that's a new box.
Hey, it is a new box. Actually,
It looks like a Shinkocho Seiho box.
it sure does.
Kamen Rider line.
It sure do. It's got like
You're gonna
the
throw
little...
that box away, aren't you?
No, absolutely not. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I feel like there was something with you before about throwing the boxes away.
No, he's the opposite. He always saves them. He saves everything.
I save,
Okay,
I
sorry.
save every.
I've only ever thrown away. I feel that
He was
because I've only
close.
ever thrown away one Mezco box, and it hurt, and I
I'm
never did
switching
it.
to a computer. Fuck this iPad.
I'm starting to throw away like domestic stuff, and now I'm thinking about throwing away some import stuff, but never Dragon Ball. But like import stuff that like I don't have to worry about FOMO of like it like creeping up in value, or not even that, but like stuff that I know I'm gonna keep that I'm not gonna sell, because like part of the FOMO is like, oh man, what if this like goes like to an astronomical height, and like I can use like, and if I need to later I can sell it, or if I have to trade it for something, it's just more, more desirable with the box. But like, I don't know, after like probably like 15 years of doing this, I'm like tired of saving boxes, so I'm gonna just chill. So who knows?
Macho, there is no just chill. What are you talking about?
That's true. You're right.
Yo, chill.
You're right. What
Are
was
we
I
talking about?
thinking?
Mm-hmm.
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, big shout out to
Rick,
Machu.
what did you do these past 48 hours?
Huge shout to Machu for sure.
All right, he's gone.
Hey, Rick is gone. I am also meeting up tomorrow with Vasco Toys. He's like a diorama artist. He does a bunch of other stuff. He does like backdrops, and like he's huge on his YouTube game right now, trying to do like I think a video every week or something for a whole year. It's crazy. So we live we live in like the same state. So we're only like about 2 hours.
You said the same state, like it was like the same borough or something.
Well, I mean, like, I mean, dude, in South Carolina, you can't. I'd be lucky to. You gotta like. Everybody else here on the panel has it like too good, because everybody is either in New York or in California, and I know California is like huge, but like there's still like tons of people. Like Fabio could walk less than 100 yards, and there's somebody in the community right there.
Actually, yes.
But so
literally the case.
You know what? Funny. You just say that little thing. The other day I was watching Wade's stream, and he was talking about how he was getting a haircut. It's a funny story, but when he started describing what was going on at his barber and what it's like there, I was like, oh shit, me and Wade go to the same fucking barbershop. Same fucking salon. We go to it's so funny. Just the way he was describing, I was like, oh, there's no way this is any other salon. So yeah, that was funny. Continue. Sorry.
I assume they're doing more work on his beard than his head
His
hair,
hair?
right?
gotta keep
Maybe
keep
he's
it
pretty
lined
short
up. Gotta
hair.
keep it crispy.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I like to think that I got great hair, but the ultimate hairline flex is to just buzz it all the time.
Do it.
It is.
Yeah.
Don't even think about
Okay.
it. Just do it.
Kill no on your
didn't do
Adam
anything.
Levine shit. That's exactly the kind of comparison that Wade would love. Comparing him to Adam Levine of Maroon 5.
Sure. Then give him.
Oh, there's nothing he'd love more.
Then give him
Yeah.
a big hug after it. He'd love it.
Yeah.
Give him a huge
Yeah, I know.
hug. There's
I know
one
Wade
thing
loves-
that guy loves is being touched.
Oh my god, this is humongous. There's no way. Sorry.
You're forgiven. As long as he tells what that is.
It's just like a notebook, but it's huge. I don't need one this big. I just wanted like a little moleskin notebook, but
Oh.
It's moleskin. Is that made out of moles? What are we talking?
Yeah. Look, how was your last 48 hours?
It was okay. I didn't do much. Somebody's shaking their head over here saying I didn't do much.
Yeah. Ashley's like, damn right he didn't do a damn thing.
I mean, we went on a date last night. I guess that was a date.
Sounds like something.
Where
There we
to?
go.
That was a date. Yeah.
Where'd you go to? That's a Real Italiano? Where'd you go?
So
It's amore?
well, we went to Soda Casa, which is this pizza place that I talked about a couple times
That's
on
right,
there
yeah,
that I
you sure
actually
have.
showed. And yes, we had. Did we have drinks? Oh, matter of fact, I went out drinking with one of my work buddies. I had a few beers, had a couple pitchers of beer, and then I was feeling like pizza, so I said, "Hey, baby, let's get some pizza." And we went there, and we both
A
had a
pepperoni.
little bite-sized or the right size bit of edible and some great handmade pizza. And what'd you have? Champagne? Rosé. Yeah.
Oh my.
Beautiful.
Where's this pizza place at? Damn.
Yeah, when you guys come to New York, we definitely got to go there.
We got to go to Sbarro's. Is what we got to
Yeah,
do.
we gotta grab a New York slice, baby.
Me a New York slice.
baby.
Well, you know what? I'm also lying because yesterday. No, was that yesterday too? Was that the same day? Every day is the same day. I hung out with Danny and Ed.
Oh hell yeah!
Nice. Took
one
your
day,
son
too.
out for an outing.
You know,
I think this was all the same day actually. Yeah, we went to Chinese. Me, Danny, and Ed. We met up for lunch and went to Chinese. So shout out to Danny and Ed. Yeah, and then I went out in the evening. I think that was all yesterday. I don't know. Every day's the same day, but that was
Not
that.
even to steal your valor, but I also made homemade pizza today.
Oh wow!
Did you today? What was the toppings?
I found the pepperoni that like cups up when you cook it. So what I did was I put literally the whole package of pepperoni. I put that into like its own like oven pan, and then just like half cooked them, and then kind of half cooked the pizza, put the cheese and everything else on there, and then finished cooking them together. And it just made that shit so crispy with a little bit of quattro formaggio on top, a little Parmigiano Reggiano,
Speaking of which,
oregano.
that was the style of pizza that I had. The four formaggi is what it's called.
Yeah.
So good. It was a white
I literally, I swear to God, this isn't a bit. I made pizza yesterday.
What?
What the fuck's going on here? What do we do? Are we all the same person? What's happening?
All right, Pete.
And you know what? Kyle gave me pizza yesterday before we went to the show, so
Well,
I'm done with pizza dough.
I will tell you, I did not make pizza. I came home the other day, hungry as hell. Rebecca was home all day, chilling. It was her day off. I come back in the house. It smells good. It smells like pepperoni. It smells like oregano. It smells like tomato sauce. I'm like, what's that smell? It's intoxicating. He said, oh, I had pizza. I go, tight. Where's the slices? Where's the leftovers? Silence. Absolute silence.
Shame.
That's it. So
we almost had it.
He said, "There's pizza rolls if you want them, but there's no pizza for you."
That's
pal.
So you're saying Becca's vying for your host slot here on this show.
could be.
For you.
Our chemistry is clearly through the roof, and Pancho, I don't know.
But yeah, next time we all together for a con. I hope it's the next New York con. Well, not this one coming up, but the next one. But yeah, we definitely got to go over there and sit down and have some great pizza. I got to take you out to quite a few places here.
Right.
Actually.
And that's actually a perfect segue because are we following up on anything from the Haslab? Because I'm ready for some more of my sponsored by Little Caesars Pizza hot and ready takes on some of this community happening. Giant Man.
There's not anything really new to discuss. I literally just put up a video a little while ago, just kind of touching base and saying that we updated our or we were expounded on what we were saying on the day that you weren't there, when you were back, and gave you an opportunity to give us your take on it. But it's been, the needle has been steadily moving. Nothing crazy. I don't expect any crazy jumps anytime soon. I think we'll get probably the first I don't know, significant bump since the initial launch after HasCon, probably. It really just depends on what they show that is going to come out next year when it's ready to drop. And I'm pretty sure that they have that all worked out strategically with some strategic marketing. So that way they'll show Wasp and other giant characters or small characters or whatever to get people hyped about that. So not really much to report there. I mean, I guess we could just really check in on exactly where it is, but
Yeah, I figure we just
hours
check in
ago.
on the numbers, right?
Yeah, some
Checking on
hours
the
ago, it
numbers.
was like
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
something maybe. I don't know.
Could continue some conversations from the fine folks who left some comments on last week's show.
Oh yeah. We
On
could
Wednesdays,
definitely,
yeah,
we
absolutely.
could definitely highlight some comments. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't catch us live, and you have things to say about things that we say, leave it in the comments. We'll bring it up. We'll address it live.
do it live, baby.
Do it
Yeah.
live.
So
Hold
40.
on, I'm gonna read this first one from Sandbagger37. He said, "Why doesn't anyone stand up and show their shirts?"
Oh
Bro,
no.
give me the opportunity. I have so many.
Yeah, we have 46, 61, 38 days left. Again, 10,000 is the minimum goal. If it hits 10,000, at the very least, everybody will just get a giant man for $200 with a couple different face plates, so you can change him from neutral to smiling to angry. But if it goes beyond that and hits 12K, we'll get something, and at 14K, we'll get something. Everything is pretty much just interchangeable heads or face plates. Nothing special. Very bare bones, very basic, but what I would consider a pretty affordable price for what you have here, and something that most people want to add to the collection. So that's pretty much all to report on Giant Man at the moment.
Yeah, by my calculations, it is at 46.61% funded right now.
Oh, very good. Number one math podcast.
Just quick maths.
Okay. What's we want to dive into some questions, some hate mail.
Yeah.
Some hate mail.
or agreeance.
Open up a
mail.
mailbag and see what came in.
Oh, I just want to remind people too that as per my comments a few videos ago about not deleting comments and the fact that I just let everything rock, YouTube has this system where they kind of filter comments on your behalf sometimes, and you don't even really know that it's happening. At least, I mean, I know now, but I always forget. And you have to actually go into this little section of the comments to approve certain things, especially if those things are laced with profanity and slurs and what have you. But I do still always go and approve those things. So just to let you know, if you think that your comment has been deleted or you don't see me responding to your hateful comments, then that's probably why. It's just probably just got shifted over into that portion of YouTube. But don't do that. Don't write curse words. Just yell at us with regular words so we can see the comments.
Trust me, you can hurt people just as much without them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many,
what we got?
Well, I'd like to bring up the obviously the most important comment that was left on that last video. From Sunny S994, yo Fabio, you killing it, man.
Hell yeah!
Love that guy. Thank you, Sunny. It is you who kills it consistently.
Always look forward to that comment. Are we reading some comments?
Yeah, Fabio, you have it pulled up, right?
Yeah, I was just enhancing it.
Fabio, you take the reins on this one.
Oh boy.
What?
Okay, all right. Here we go. We're pulling up some of the comments that were left again on the last episode we did on Wednesday. Jason S2755, who I believe he's here in the live chat as well.
Absolutely, Jason S is a contributor for sure.
I'll have forgive us if we maybe take your stuff out of context here ourselves. Great comment though. He says 3 concerns with Haslabs. They are launching one after the other. The next one after Giant Man will be the 20th Haslab. Number 2,
is that right?
brands.
20 Haslabs? That sounds like a lot. There's been 20
already, right?
Haslabs?
Well, you know, it's because there's a lot that we don't, or there's a few we don't pay attention to, like the board game ones, the Transformers ones.
The Cookie Monster that was like the first
Monster
or second one or something.
Imagine
need,
not doing Elmo first. What a flop. Come on.
Yeah, that was kind of.
That's actually pretty wild. 20
God
Haslabs?
bless you.
Bless you.
Yeah. And to that point, I mean, if we're going point by point here, they are like one after the other. As soon as one like concludes, the next one starts. But remember that like end of 2021 or something where there was like 3 going on at the same time?
Yeah, they were like
Oh, that was
overlapped.
rough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, that was nuts.
That was still pandemic money, so they were ready.
Exactly.
They could take it.
Yeah.
They could
They were
take it.
trying to get
They're getting $1,000 a month from unemployment. We got them.
Man,
they
I
were
had
trying to
a
boost those,
very
end of year numbers.
not to cut you off. I want to hear Jason's whole question here, but he and I had a pretty interesting conversation with David Walton a couple days ago or whatever. And as shrewd as Hasbro can be and probably are at times, the shit that David was describing that they could actually be doing was actually pretty fucking nuts. I would love to have Dave just pop in just to kind of like explain it from that point of view and really break down how it's really not as bad as people be making it out to be. But whatever, that's a discussion for another time. I just thought about it. Go ahead, carry on.
Number 2, brands are finding lanes, as Ryan mentioned on Dan Hu's podcast. And shout out to Dan Hu, who was in the live chat for the last episode.
Shout out to Dan. I saw that when
yeah.
I went back to check out some of the replay. Yeah.
Right. Finding lanes which could limit future offerings. For example, G.I. Joe doing vehicles, Marvel Legends doing large figures, etc. And number 3, Giant Man offering might be the first of more bare bones offerings. We see this in every line where accessories and paint apps are phased out to maximize profit as the line goes on. What happened to dream projects?
It's true. What happened?
Well, to address that last one,
It was all just a dream project.
It was,
dream.
Ryan said it on Wade's show. They need a win. They need something to show that they should continue on. So, I mean, it's bare bones this time because their last outing was just not a success. So, nothing to say that it's going to be like this going forward, but they definitely needed it to be this way for this one. There was no other way. You know.
Well, I just responded to a comment on the video that I put up before we went live saying that I don't really know what people want. Like last go round, people complained that it was overpriced. The tiers were arranged in a way that weren't ideal, and those things are true. But people were on a campaign to fix that or to stop that, and so it wasn't successful. And based on the collective holding Hasbro at ransom, then the demands were met this time around, and it came with an offering that was not only significantly cheaper, but they went back to the model of the bigger figure, ditched the whole vehicle thing, and gave you something that was a bigger figure that's better than the original and the cheapest Haslab that they've ever done, and people still not happy. So like, what are you gonna do with that? Hasbro's they are between a rock and a hard place right now. They're in a very tough position, and if this fails and it's not funded, then we could forget about pretty much anything going forward. Like this is gonna fuck it up for everything, honestly.
And if you have 2 failures in a row from the same brand, I mean, how long has it been since we've seen a Black Series? Haslab. I mean, technically the last Black Series one was the Reva lightsaber, like Static Thunder saying in the super chat.
Yeah. So I mean, be careful. Be careful. At the end of the day, what is it that people really want? All of the people that are like, I guess, upset about this or think that it's not good, what do you want? What would be better? What is the actual problem with this current offering now?
And not just that, but something realistic. Like if you're going to be in the comments telling us that Sentinels and Galactus and Giant Man should be at a Target store, like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? And we have to have some level of like understanding. You could still have whatever opinion you want about these projects and about Hasbro at large, but like, be a little realistic here. Like those figures, things like that just aren't going to happen.
I mean, I understand that argument too. Like we were saying on Wednesday, as far as like, yeah, they don't need to, but as Pancho said, also they don't want to be sitting on overstock. They don't want to also underproduce when they know they could have made more money for it. So, to have these things go for like, a Hasbro Pulse exclusive or like a, open pre-order type of thing is, I think, a fair middle ground. And in the case of the Reva lightsaber, that 100% should have been the way they did that. Like, why would they have tried to crowdfund that when every other, Force Effects lightsaber that they've ever done has been a retail release? And now you have this one that is supposedly, yes, the most ambitious one, but did their numbers, at retail suggest that this would be a model that would work better or a product that would work better in the Haslab model?
Let me ask you this.
About lightsabers, so someone would have to explain that to me.
Let me ask you guys this, and I don't expect any of you to actually really be the authority on this or to really know the answer because it's Star Wars related. But
excuse me,
I understand, or I think I understand the whole issue with the Reba lightsaber. Everybody hated that character, right? They didn't like her at all, right? That was
for whatever reasons they want to claim.
Well, it wasn't for whatever reasons. It was,
definitely not for whatever reason
in particular, but they didn't like her at all. But I'm hearing rumblings right now that people also don't like this new kind of Sith girl on the Ahsoka show right now either.
Incorrect. They fucking love her. Everybody wants to save her. I can fix her.
Yeah, I can fix her.
Yeah.
What's going on? Do they love her or they hate her?
They love her. She's cool and edgy, and like even I said it. Like I'm way more interested in her and the Ray Stevenson, her master, than I am in the titular character of the show.
All right. So the other chick, was it the bad acting or what was it there? What was the issue?
Come on.
Was it bad acting?
I mean,
yeah.
Come on.
There was cries of her inclusion in the show as like a woke agenda, race shielding kind of thing. Yeah. It was that crowd that really created that campaign against it. To the point where I think
it wasn't that it was a woman. It was compounded with the fact that it was a black woman. Is that it?
Yeah, and they just bring things up to justify hating her. Anybody else?
I mean, there was a very active campaign against it that wasn't like, we're not saying that we don't like her because of those reasons. We're saying that they only put her in the show so that when the show sucks, they can blame it on us not liking her. Some weird mental gymnastics like that. It was I think the term was like race shielding, basically. Very, very strange.
Oh man.
Some real roundabout, I swear I'm not racist shit.
Exactly.
I actually forgot what point I was even trying to make here, but I mean I was genuinely asking, but I forgot. I took us off course. Let's get back onto Jason S's question here.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say something real quick about what happened to Dream Projects.
The Dream Project.
Yeah. All this to say that the lightsaber was not the Dream Project.
No, I can't imagine anybody. That lightsaber was drummed up in a meeting where everybody was expecting everyone the best possible outcome for someone to just expecting them to love a character possibly 2 years before the show even aired or something.
Yeah,
that was locked in forever ago.
Ryan on Wade's show said that Giant Man was done almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, I believe it.
So I'm assuming Reva.
Why they were so cagey whenever you suggested it, Boog.
I'm assuming that Reva lightsaber has to be the same, and not only what Poncho just said that they wouldn't have known that people were going to hate this woman. I'm sure that Haslab to them was also an easy win. One of their best-selling things is those damn lightsabers. So they think to themselves, we released this lightsaber, and then come to find out everybody fucking bashes on this character, and they're fucked. They're on a boat without a paddle.
If that's the case, it's probably just the fact that whoever made the ultimate decision to put the EOV in put it before Giant Man kind of fucked up everything, because if Giant Man would have just went first, which was third, then I don't even think we would be discussing this at all right now, because it would have had tiers, it would have had the extra figures, it would have been the bigger figure model that they did the 2 years prior, and that would have been that. So whoever made the maybe last minute decision to say, nah, let's go with a vehicle, let's do the EOV, might have fucked it up for like 3 years straight right now.
And this is also after they fumbled the bag on the Rancor, where they were literally like a month off from it being featured in current entertainment and getting everybody to fucking go after it. And people would have double dipped to have if they had the foresight. And I think this also comes back to just Disney with all of their NDAs and everything, not even being forthcoming to the people making the products as a way to avoid spoilers or whatever it is. That one really missed the mark. And like a month, like moving that campaign, like, starting it 1 month later while the show was currently airing and tying in further stretch goals, i.e. get rid of the pile of skulls and the fucking backdrop and just add a new, Boba Fett that goes on it and riding and put the harness on him that he holds, all that stuff. You could have had it be the Return of the Jedi Rancor and also the Book of Boba Fett Rancor. Now that show, I'm biased, because I had my
You're the star.
I think it's largely regarded as it not being a great show either, Yeah. So maybe that would have hurt the Haslab, at its time. Similar to people like not liking Reva and therefore not liking Obi-Wan, hurting that one. Hindsight 2020, but that one really was like, you could feel, the Star Wars team behind the scenes being like, God damn it, why didn't they tell us about this?
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't just that though. The tiers were so bad, and also the Rancor had the best anti-campaign slogan on top of that too. So that really tanked it. The no Ula, no Mula.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, and then even then, we've said this before. That Rancor and Engines of Vengeance was a failure, but they were really freaking close. They were really, really close. Like, it's not like they were
the Rancor.
Super
The
far
Rancor
off
was
from being
much closer than the Engine of Vengeance. I remember. I remember thinking like, I was like genuinely thinking like this might be a situation where they just greenlight it anyway because it was so little. It was like it was like
a few hundred or less, right?
I can't remember if it was a few hundred or if it was maybe 1,000 or something, but it was like it was so small.
We can look it up. It should still be there, right?
Absolutely.
Even though it failed.
It won't show the total though. It'll just say like didn't fund.
Well, you know what? If you backed it, it should be in your like in your queue with your history or something. Yeah.
Oh, which
it'll
all
just
of us
say
did.
Not
That's
funded.
true.
Oh, you know what? It does show the history.
Oh yeah.
It was like less than 500 off.
That's what I'm saying.
I knew it was like 500 or less. Yeah.
Damn.
Somebody could have been a hero.
I didn't remember that was the
nice
case.
job,
I don't remember
Solid
it was
Snake.
that close. Oh, that's crazy. That's like devastating. Like you about to be the president and you lose
By one vote.
Right. And then
that's
fuck.
crazy.
Damn it, Idaho.
Yeah, this is some real fucking some real presidential race shit.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
No,
I
they
feel
should
like-
do over with this. That's crazy.
It was crazy.
When did this end?
In fact, Hasbro should have just bought up the remaining things and just juke the stats for that. That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
That
seems almost punishing. Like, well, you didn't want it. See ya.
So the reason I brought the what I was gonna say at first, like what happened to Dream Projects, like that's the what do you call it? That's like their secret marketing weapon, baby. Like the phrase Dream Project is like that's like the carrot at the end of the stick whenever they're drumming up like all this stuff. Like how do we wrap this up as nicely as we can? Of course there's like a middle ground. Like yes, it's like if there's anything I've learned over the last couple of weeks on the show and reading the comments and like the atmosphere around the show and whatnot is whenever we're talking about Hasbro, it's always like a black or white thing. Either we think that they're like the craziest evil corporation or we're like shills for the company. Like there's tons of gray area in the middle. Like so what I'm trying to say is like, of course there's a great middle ground where in a perfect world, like the way this was probably pitched by the team that wanted to bring Haslabs and all this stuff to the table was like, yeah, we got to do dream projects and stuff like that. This is what it is. And what do you call it? They were like, they're probably saying like, yeah, put that in the marketing, whatever. What I'm trying to say is like, I don't, I would like, I've tempered my expectations with Haslabs in terms of dream projects. I don't think we'll ever get like the craziest, kookiest dream project we ever could imagine, because like it's just not fiscally viable for Hasbro as a publicly traded company to do something like that. Like that's something like Todd McFarland could do. Like in terms of like dream project, like a true dream project is not caring about your profit margins, not caring about pleasing your like your investors or anything like that. I think just whenever we look at Haslabs and whatever, it seems like such a cop out to say like we got to be happy with what we get, but like the depressing thing about that is like, you know, there's got to be a middle ground between what we really want and how that can be presented from a company like Hasbro, whose bottom line is like making money, unfortunately, which is really wild. So I've seen a lot of people saying in the comments and stuff about like, you know, stuff can be made. Like there was one comment there was one comment from last week where people were talking about like that 3D printed Blackbird. Spider is saying it right now. Yeah, this stuff absolutely is possible for sure, but it's difficult to see a situation where something like that can be greenlit on a Haslab, because all Haslabs are a vehicle for Hasbro to make more money on riskier projects, not maybe the riskiest projects in the world. Like a Blackbird would be like a crazy risky project, but
yeah, especially at the proper scale.
even
Tell me how much
they've said as
Homeboy
much.
was selling the files or whatever for the Blackbird.
I don't know if he was selling files at all. I can't remember.
What wasn't there some way to make a purchase, or maybe he put out what it would cost if he was selling it or something like that? I feel like I remember it being like $1,000 though.
Yeah, he did say like what it would cost. I think he said in terms of like material and time and stuff like that. That's how much it costs. But you know, that's coming from like a guy, like one dude.
Right. Okay.
So I've been
so realistically, if Hasbro did a true dream project, and I think a true dream project for any Marvel Legends collector, especially X-Men fans, would be the Blackbird. And if they did that to scale as a dream project, realistically, what do you think that cost would be?
1,600.
Can I just say right now, he literally said it on our show.
And
when he was here, he said that it would almost be the size of a Prius in length, and he said that it would be several $1,000s. It's just not. It's just like realistically, like it's just you know. It has to.
I get
you want
that.
to be accurate to scale. It has to be huge.
You know, you're thinking of the jet. It is obviously very long and everything. So that's why I kind of would meet halfway and go with like a Quinjet, which is more like a smaller.
He did say when he was on here that the Quinjet is very possible because it's not.
Yeah,
it's not too
something
big.
like that for sure. I mean, we talked about the Punisher van before, but the Punisher as a brand is kind of in a weird flux. I even had this thought in the shower, as many of my great thoughts come. What about? Do you guys remember the old MarvelLegends.net? Of course, who doesn't? Right?
Of course,
yeah.
Of course.
Remember the dude had the big like X Mansion display with like the different rooms and the door with the courtyard and all. Not the courtyard, but you know, it's sort of like entrance hall, something like that, like a big sort of backdrop shelf piece, almost like the NECA street scene, but bigger and in the shape of like the front of the X Mansion. I feel like that would be a more realistic thing.
Yeah,
for an X-Men display, you know, the front of the Xavier school. Maybe it's just a glorified sort of Dio backdrop or like a shelf. Maybe there's some built-in shelf elements to it with different tiers.
I just think where you lose a little bit is that like either they have to go cheap with detail, like those fucking bat caves that they sell that are humongous, or those sewer layers that they sell that are humongous from Playmates. or it's going to be so much more expensive to make sure that that detail isn't lost. Which I don't know what you where you meet in that middle.
I mean, if Wall XD, can take off as a project, I think there is room in the conversation and in the market for, if NECA can pull off $300 sewer lair, apparently,
Yeah.
what's not to say that, people wouldn't want to do like a nice like X-Mansion facade that doubles as a shelf display essentially.
Yeah,
Like,
I
what
could
if I could
definitely
fit
see
in,
them exploring some.
two of these things right here, and it fits right here.
Or you know what? More
Levels.
even more realistic than that, a danger room.
Danger room is a great one, of course.
Is
Yeah,
like
I've heard
super,
that come up quite a bit.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be too crazy. It would be very flat and compactable.
Yeah.
And it would be customizable to a point. Very
Be cool. Modular, yeah.
Very friendly. Yeah, modular. It'd be nice, and you wouldn't have to go too crazy with detail because when you do X-Mansion rooms, you beds and carpets and
Mm-hmm.
the walls.
I think
but
that's a great call, or especially with Marvel Legends being so tied in to like the diorama community. I feel like we've given you figures. Now, next step, proven vehicles are a little too risky. How about just big display dios that also could double for toy photography, all that? I think that would be like really reading the community really well.
And the best part is that
project you wouldn't love, an officially licensed X-Men mansion or Danger Room or even an Avengers mansion.
And the best part is that you could like play with the price a little bit because you could make it almost kind of bare bones-ish, but like what adds to your Danger Room is the more of them that you buy.
Yeah.
So you could work it kind of nice that way. So it wouldn't be super expensive or anything, but the more that people give to it, the more that they get back, the more pieces that they get. Like it'd be very, very doable.
It literally would be the same idea as High School Creations.
Yeah, it very, very
XD,
similar to
100%.
Exactly, super similar to Wall XD. The more you get from it, the more you buy of it, the more you get out of it.
Yeah,
super doable.
I could definitely see that, but I mean, for anything that like that to even be a dream, then they need another win. So I mean, again, if the idea is that people want them to really go bigger, then I mean, the only way that's going to happen is for them to have a few more successful campaigns. So campaigning against this is not going to make that happen in any way, shape, or form. And I could understand if this was a bad offering and if there was some actual valid points to say that this was a bad offering, but it's actually a pretty good offering. I don't really see what the issue is with this particular one.
It's very affordable. It's a solid offering.
Isn't that exactly what everybody asked for?
Giant Man has been the thing that people said as soon as we saw the Sentinel. That was everybody thought that would be the next one, even before Galactus. But that because people were even saying then that like they wouldn't be able to do Galactus to scale anyway. So Giant Man was what people were saying was going to be the second one. So
yeah, I remember everybody thought that it would be Giant Man because there'd just be no way to do a Galactus, but they thought, nah, it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. We just got to see. We've been on one question for 2 hours.
Right? Oh yeah, we got to be a little bit faster because we gave Jason a lot of time.
He gave us a pretty open-ended question.
That's
what
true.
happened
He
to
did.
projects? That's kind of what we landed on.
The last thing I'll say is like, it's this is like all encompassing to like a conversation that's kind of been happening all over the place for the last couple of weeks. Like, there's a lot of the biggest thing a lot of people are saying is like Hasbro is $1 billion company. Why do they need to do crowdfunds? Like they have the money to do all this stuff. Why do they have to rely on a crowdfund project to kick this off? When especially so like another big thing is like why do we need to crowdfund a $200 figure when they just released a $200 Transformer for retail? The hard truth is that obviously they don't need to do it. This is all like the crowdfund is all just like a big facade for them to gauge the interest on if they have the market to sell something like this. It's just like I said last week. Like, yeah, Hasbro has the money to make a $200 Giant Man. They have the money to make a $350 Engine of Vengeance. They have the money to make, a Quinjet and a Blackbird and all that stuff. But in terms of, meeting their bottom line and trying to appease to stop the shareholders and people higher up and just keep their profits going higher and higher, they can afford to make it, but if they want to meet their goals, they can't afford to take the risk. And that's obviously just like a plan. That's just words. Obviously, they can literally afford to take the risk. But if they do and it doesn't sell, then their numbers go down. They just released
Stock price goes down.
Yeah, the stock price goes down, everything. And they recorded like
Oh no, don't say that. You advocating for the corporation, you on their side, bro.
No. I'm just
and
that's what I want to kind of bring it back to, because even Tremble Dust is saying, yes, crowdfunding is smart. It keeps budget locked. You don't overproduce and leave stock. But is that pro-consumer?
No, absolutely not.
Of course not. Of course not.
You know what it is, money. Especially with the Hasbro team, is that like collectors have gotten very spoiled when it comes to the Hasbro team. They've kind of opened up the floodgates for people to really get in there with them and learn the business and understand things because of this this era of transparency and some of the marketing crew and Dan and Dwight and those guys being closer to the collecting community and just having a good relationship, that it's hurting them actually, because it puts them on the front line of all of these like personal attacks and all of this other stuff. It's they in a very tough position as the faces of the brand. And that's another thing that David was saying the other day too, is that like I don't know how they're gonna really weather this storm. It's gonna be, it seems like sooner than later they're gonna have to pull back from anybody really having access to even asking them questions or figuring out what's going on, and that it's not going to be like that. Like, you think it's some corporate shit right now, it's going to get real corporate, because it's going to be like a Mezco type situation where there will be no reps or anybody telling you anything or what. It'll just be like, all right, the product is out, you fucking with it or not, and that's it. Like,
and we've seen
the Holy Land. I hope we get there.
And yep. It's not just some assumption or some wild claim that we're making. So many companies have done it. Good Smile no longer has Mommyton. Mommyton was like their public face. They would always do interviews. Bandai, you want to know there's why we don't have interviews with them? Because they don't do that kind of stuff anymore. Mezco, Pierre's not there. This isn't something that we're just making up or imagining. Like it'll probably happen, because why wouldn't it?
Yeah. And I mentioned that on the last show too. That kind of was how the relationship between the consumer and the company was for many, many years, until the pandemic era definitely like made it more so, as far as them being doing more streams and doing all that. But yeah, we've gotten to that era now where these faces have companies, or these companies have faces.
These faces have companies.
Like Wendy's is all snarky and shit on Twitter. Like, all of these companies have like a personality now, and it creates that sense of familiarity that can be the thing that gets you over the hump of whether you want to support something or not.
Yeah, because people start to get a little too familiar and start getting like a little disrespectful and outlandish and ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and nobody here is telling you you have to eat what they give you. You don't have to like what they do. You don't have to enjoy every decision and kiss their ass or anything like that. But like, I mean, you guys gotta have some level of sense. Like, this whole people like, I'm real, I don't hold back. Like, okay, man, like, have a nice time being 16 years old at 57. Like, that's fucking sick. That's so cool. Like, I'm honest all the time here too. I fucking give McFarland so much shit, but like, come on, guys,
Yeah, I think a big thing is like
What are we doing?
a lot of the time our understanding and knowledge of how the machine works is confused for excuse making and siding with the company. Like
Right.
I don't think Kickstarters I don't think crowdfunds have any business with Hasbro at all. But I understand why it's happening, and I understand fiscally why that's an option for them and how it's the best option for them in a fiscal sense, where it's the safest option with their money, and it's the least amount of risk for them to push these projects. Because the unfortunate truth here is without this extremely low entry point of this extremely low risk envelope, these projects wouldn't be coming off the ground at all. Like there's no way they would.
And like I asked last stream, what's the alternative? Like, what do you actually want? What are you advocating for if you are saying, oh well, yeah, looks nice and the price is okay, but crowdfunding is some bullshit? Are you saying that just because it's crowdfunded, even though it's affordable and you like it and it looks good, that we shouldn't support it? That everybody should just be like, fuck this now? It's been
I think the
crowdfunded
alternative
from the beginning. We've known the game since the very beginning. And again, like P is saying, like, doesn't mean that any of us are advocating for this or saying that we are with it. We just understand the game. We playing the game to the best of our abilities to get the shit that we want, or not. Like, or we're not playing at all and saying like, oh no, this is too risky, or it's not the right circumstances for me, and I'm out. Like, but
yeah. I think the alternative is that people want the company to be willing to take the risk on the loss and just do it anyway as a gesture of being pro-consumer to bring back Wall XD. The Kickstarter was like very, very close to I think it did fund. Pancho, you have more experience.
Yeah, it did fund.
It did fund, but it didn't reach some of the goals, right? Or some of the stretch goals, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So Mike on his own is like, I'm just going to make them available. I'm going to, fund it the rest of the way that I can to get the tooling done for the add-ons and tiers anyway. And I'm putting it up as a separate pre-order on the Wall XD site. That's a risk that he took because he knew that the people who did support it and got it past the goal line, but unfortunately weren't able to, there weren't enough people to get it to those next tiers. He decided to take the loss himself, take that risk, put it upon himself in a pro-consumer gesture so that the people who did support it will still get that stuff. And the people who missed out on it will still get an opportunity to get the base offering, even if they didn't back the Kickstarter.
All right.
If
So
a creator like that is okay doing that, I can understand. And honestly, I agree that the company $1 billion corporation should also be that way. But at the end of the day, they are not necessarily pro-consumer in that way. They are always going to be beholden to their shareholders.
True. I think the biggest argument is like they're $1 billion company. They should just do it. They are not your friends, dog. Like, and and that is not me defending them. I just know they're not my friend. Like, if it were up to me, I don't think like they should do like I don't even know. if it were up to me,
No, it's
like if it were up to me, if they did do a crowdfund thing, they should really just throw everything in there at a crazy affordable price and be as pro-consumer as possible. But I also understand that at the end of the day, they don't care about that. All they care about is making money, and
they just have to make more money than the previous year. That's
and
all.
Also, it's got to be clear that the marketing team, the design team, some dudes is just a buffer between these motherfuckers that really don't care and some regular workers at the company. And y'all be directing all of this ire and all this fire towards the dudes that's just like the average workers at the company. Like, y'all be wowing.
It's true. But like the unfortunate situation is like they're the only face that people can yell at. Like,
Right,
otherwise,
right.
you're just screaming into the ether of nothing.
You know what's the perfect example is Mattel.
It's Kong
Mattel put
Studios
up-
and how
Mattel put
Tablos
up
sued Kong Studios. Demon Out the Fit has
Mattel-
no face. Anyway,
Mattel was over here crowdfunding a fucking entrance in a ring. Things that they sell at a fucking Walmart as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nobody pointing fingers at them because there's no face. There's no name that everybody loves to hate. Everybody just
I mean,
funded it
within
and
the
moved on with
wrestling,
their
yeah,
lives. Or
everybody
didn't-
knows
or
Bill
didn't fund
McKenna
it.
and Steve Ozer and all those guys, but you know,
Right.
yeah.
And that shit ended up funding, right? It did fund, right?
The latest ring did not.
No, it didn't.
The WCW Nitro ring did not fund.
Oh, right. That's
No.
right. The Nitro ring didn't make it. That's right.
No, which is crazy because the new
And
generation
neither-
one did.
Neither did their Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Jurassic Park also did not.
Interesting.
They've had some.
But
failures
to your
there.
point, though, Rick, Jurassic Park doesn't have like a face like that.
No.
No.
But the wrestling, yeah, WWE definitely does.
Yeah, just in general, that their teams aren't as accessible, and a lot of companies' teams aren't as accessible.
I mean, it's pretty wild just to like really sit back and take this all in and just think about the time that we're in right now, that we actually have dozens of podcasts that just like talk about toys and talk about the business of toys and really have all of this access and all of this, and we in literally the golden age of collecting, and everybody's still pissed. So what are we mad about, really? Like, we getting literally the best toys we've ever seen in our lives, the things that we dreamed about when we were little kids, playing with little freaking Secret Wars figures with like 5 points of articulation and shit, and people are like losing their shit right now over what? What are we fighting about here? Well, I don't understand it. I'm having the time of my life.
I think people just don't like the vehicle by which we are getting the best products ever. They want it to. I think ultimately people want to eat their cake and have it too. Am I right, Poncho? Go ahead.
That's right. You're absolutely right, Fabio.
That's right.
We ever gonna read another comment? Or-
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Let's.
For the love of God.
Let's go. Comment number 2 on hour number 7. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Well, Quamin had one here, but I think he had a
Shout out to Kwame, man. I seen you out there, man,
Oh,
fighting
yeah.
a good fight by yourself, getting attacked, and you was out there with just your shield and your spear, man. Dope.
Yeah.
I see you.
Yeah,
bro.
shout out Kwame.
Shout you out, bro. I see you.
Yeah. Here's one from Inhaled Farts, maybe to elaborate on that other point of view too. Why doesn't anyone understand that making these Haslab projects gives us more than if it was at retail or just Hasbro Pulse? The corporations only give us more if they get more profit. They would give us less if it was retail or Hasbro Pulse. Fair, because they would have to split those, or they would have to pay for the shelf space and all that stuff at Target, which would equal less profits for them on the sales end.
Correct.
And then that would ensure they make as much as possible to cover the increased risk.
And then not to mention that, which we touched on a bit last episode too, is that like these dudes are working within a certain budget too to get this stuff out. Corporate is saying, this is what we have, or this is what you have to work with, and this is all you have to work with. Make it work at the end of the day. Now, we don't know the logistics and the specifics of that budget and what it is. They never share that with us. You can't really get into the weeds with them about profit margins or any economics as it relates to any of this stuff. All of that stuff is always off limits. And why do you think that is? Like, what do you think it is? They have to work within a certain budget, and that's it. They are working probably crunching numbers and like really be stressed out about this shit every single time it's time to put out a wave or do this or do that. Not to mention all the licensing fees, which we talk about all the time. Not to mention that it's Disney and they got to put out a wave when the movie drops or when the show drops and this and that. It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to worry about. And we only thinking about, I want my toys when I want them, and I want them for $9.99 and shit. Like, that's wild.
And it's if there's the biggest proof that they just if they're the biggest proof that these guys don't get to make the decisions that people imagine that they do, it's when we interview them, and for years they keep saying they want to make blank figure, but they don't make it. Like sometimes they just don't even get to make that basic of a decision. Like a plain figure that they want, they just don't get to make.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it just works out that way.
And every time, there's always a weirdo thrown in the mix, like the Chris Starr guy that was shown at San Diego.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. What's the alternative though, or what's the end game? Like, what would you guys want? Again, some of the people that are against
to
this.
Elaborate on your point too.
Just real quick, do people want Hasbro to lose the Marvel Legends license? Do they want Hasbro to not make Marvel Legends anymore? Do you want McFarland to make Marvel Legends? Do you want
God, no.
I think
Seven to make Marvel Legends? Like what? Who do you think could pull this off for another 20 years right now?
I swear to God, if anybody says Jada,
have to split it with somebody else or whatever the case may be, because Toy Biz had what? How many years did Toy Biz have in before Hasbro took over? I don't even know.
A long time.
I'll tell you
they had like 10 years in themselves.
No, they were in the 80s.
They did everything before Legends too.
Yeah, they did the 80s too. They've had
I meant in terms of just Marvel Legends though. Marvel Legends was like 2001, and then I feel like 2014 maybe they got out of there. No, I'm lying. It was probably like 2011.
It might have been even 2010.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they had like a good 9-year run, maybe, if that, right? And then Hasbro took over.
I'll tell you exactly what people want. And it's very simple. They want Hasbro to not care about making a profit. And once Hasbro stops caring about making a profit, then we'll get everything we want, to be quite honest. Right. There won't be any more budget restraints on waves.
Yeah.
The stuff won't be locked behind like a Kickstarter or a crowdfund or anything. If Hasbro, or at least the Marvel Legends brand was bought out or transferred to an independent company headed by somebody who is passionate about Marvel Legends and doesn't care about taking a hit every now and then when funding and greenlighting stuff they really want and passion projects and whatnot, then that would be the absolute perfect situation. As much as we shit talk and drag this man through the mud, the perfect situation is a Todd McFarlane situation. Not necessarily McFarlane making Marvel Legends, but a Todd McFarlane situation. A guy that just loves the properties that he has license for and doesn't give a shit if he makes money on a wave or not. This man has put out 200 Batmen in 4 years. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. Like, he doesn't give a shit if like his like Jokerized version of Bane and Two-Face makes money. He just ripped a line of cocaine one day and said, what would be fucking crazy? How about Jokerized versions of these guys? Greenlight it right now.
Jokerized Joker.
Like, that's literally that is what people want. People want people want something that is unfortunately not going to happen or has a slim chance of happening, because like at the bottom of the line, at the end of the day, this license and this line is locked behind a corporation that is one of the top corporations that squeezes everything out of their lines to make as much money as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and realistically, what are the alternatives? Like, who has the money and the power to make a line like that? Like, who jacks Mattel? Like, you want Mattel making Marvel Legends? Like, Jade, we had June on before. He'd said he would never be able to do DC or Marvel. That it would just be absolutely impossible with the amount that they would want and what Disney would demand. Or
he would be literally working for free. Like, he would make no money.
Yeah, realistically, like, those are the only options. Like Jax and like maybe Playmates and Mattel. Like, what would you want? Or even like you said at the beginning, like what would you want? Do you just not want to have these Haslabs anymore? And if that is, let us know why. Like, if you just rather not have them whatsoever.
Okay, I'll reach a fair middle ground here, and I've said this before, and there's plenty of reasons why. I think when we even had the team on here, they gave their reasons as to why that's just not possible or whatever, or why it isn't currently done. I've maintained, do like 2 or 3, maybe even 1 or 2 fewer waves a year and spread that budget across all the remaining waves to up the quality of everything.
Yeah, on
right?
paper that's very sound. But
And I know why that doesn't happen,
it's not
because on top of what
possible.
you said, Boog, as far as
Right.
the amount of licensing and all that, the price for licensing, this comes back to the retailer too. The retailer asks for a certain amount of SKUs per year. And sometimes they're scrambling to like create those SKUs. Like when we were at Comic-Con right after the toy industry panel, you could hear these dudes like talking amongst themselves. It was like Steve Ozer from Mattel, the guy from McFarland. They have their own like jargon that they joke around each other with, and big pop, big laugh when one of them is just like, oh man, yeah, the stress that I got at work. All of a sudden Target is just like, hey, we need a single SKU that is a 4x6 box that can fit on shelves next week. Do it now. And that's how you get something like the WWE like Then Now Forever Together 4-pack that then had to be recalled because the packaging team got one label wrong and that had to be recalled so that they can get out the right one. Things like that happen all the time. So the retailer sometimes has requests for the amount of SKUs that they want per year, and the budget remains the same for the waves internally, regardless of whether they have that many SKUs to really fill it at the moment or not, or they have to create new SKUs to then piecemeal a little bit of that overall budget into, and that overall dips the quality of everything.
Yeah, and one of the biggest examples is like you can very clearly tell, like this isn't anybody pulling it out of their ass, is that Cyborg Spider-Woman. That was very obviously a Build-A-Figure. You can tell from just handling that figure.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Target told them like, dude, we need another SKU for this fucking movie. And they were like, oh fuck, no Build-A-Figures, it's a single pack. Cyborg Spider, it's very easy to tell. Deluxe comes in pieces. There you go.
It literally comes apart like a traditional Build-A-Figure.
Yeah.
So you could tell.
And Future Rick is also right as far as what would it take for every Marvel Legend to be like that Black Widow that just came out? Is it 27 or like that Doctor Strange that you reviewed, Boog, that you reviewed?
Yeah,
I think that should be
it's not really possible.
for every
That's
Marvel
what we
Legend.
would all hope for and love, but it's just not possible with all of the restraints that I'm sure they have, the budget restraints and time restraints and trying to line things up with the movies and shows and stuff like that. Like we're talking about Disney. Like Hasbro is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, but Disney is the Illuminati. Like that is some other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Another amazing example, something that I brought up earlier with Dwight and Dan and Ryan, like talking about figures that they want to have made, is their head honcho. Jesse Falcon was like naming off a huge list of characters he'd want to have made. If Jesse Falcon has characters that he can't have made, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
When he's the man that gets to make those decisions, pretty
Marvel.
much, yeah.
Right. At Marvel, like he's from what I understand, he's like the liaison between the Hasbro Marvel Legends brand and Marvel. And because he started with
Marvel at
Toy
Disney.
Biz and that crew over there, whatever the case may be, he's got those connections directly to Dwight and Dan and those guys, whatever the case may be. But it's my understanding that Jesse works for Marvel now, though. Like he doesn't work. He works with the Hasbro Marvel Legends team or whatever, but he actually works for Marvel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
that's absolutely the case. Yeah.
So,
but to that point, he did sneak that Crystar in that I just mentioned. So
It's true.
It's not like he doesn't have any say.
If the guy that gets to make those decisions has to sneak a figure in, what does that tell you? That these decisions, they're not as easy, they're not as cut and dry as like we wish that they would be. It sucks.
We got to track down homeboy that made a comment on my T-shirt. P. We got to find him.
That's right. Oh my god, you know who that was? Member of the board, leader of the board. I'd love to send him a shirt.
The chairman of the
chairman of the chairman of the board right there.
Real quick,
that's a real carrot top situation.
Let's catch up on a few of the super chats that have been chiming in on just about everything we've been saying. So.
Yeah, hell yeah,
let's read those off. Let's go.
Yeah, Static Thunder hit us with $4.99. Thank you, Static. You're the man.
Static, is that you? Static, is that you?
He says, I think a Haslab full of I think a Haslab for a full team of lesser known designs for figures would be cool. For example, a full Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes
That's what I'm
cartoon lineup. True dream, done in one.
That's true. And the
that.
dream situation is that they do that, and I don't know. The dream situation is basically what we have now, but at affordable pricing and at a low backer entry point.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dream, for sure.
Mm.
That's what like these Haslabs should be about. Stuff that doesn't necessarily fit in their wheelhouse of their plan for the fiscal year and stuff. And I know that a giant man could be like that, to be quite honest. You're telling me that the year that they were putting out 5 or 6 12-inch figures, they couldn't have squeezed in a 2-foot figure? Obviously they could have, but the Galactus and stuff and whatnot, there's an argument to be made where they could fit that in there with the right amount of budgeting and whatnot. But like we said early in the show, and like people have said in the comments, is if that came to retail, it wouldn't have the same amount of features and stuff, because they would have to
be as detailed.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even get all of those little extra details and points of articulation, and there would be way more corners cut.
True.
So it just wouldn't be that level.
But again, the dream is for them to not spare any expense. But unfortunately, we're dealing with not that case.
We in a strange sort of middle ground, and man, it's not good. And again, I got to keep reiterating this: we're not advocating for billion-dollar corporations or billionaires at all. I'm under the impression that first of all, you can't be a billion-dollar company or a billionaire without some fucked up shit on your on your resume. It is what it is. So it's by design, by nature, that is it is kind of the cliche kind of evil corporation, no question about that. And we understand that, we recognize that, we see it all through and through. But at the end of the day, we're not losing our shit, because at the core, at the base of this, we just trying to buy some toys. You know what I mean? I'm not fighting a good fight or fighting some altruistic crazy fight over Captain America and shit. There's way more important shit that we could be fighting for. You know what I mean? If I think it's viable, if I think it's worth my money, then I'll buy it. If not, then I won't fuck with it. It's not. It ain't the end of the world, man. It's more shit that we should be focusing on that could be the end of the world. What are we doing? I'm a punch Dwight in the face because Marvel Legends costs $27. What are we doing?
Yeah, there's and as if he makes that decision is the other thing too. I don't know. People are crazy. There's so many things to collect now.
Full transparency, my entire industry is still on a tremendous standstill. So I'm not exactly looking for more opportunities to spend a few bills or even a few racks a year on product.
If anything, I'm happy that there's less for me to buy right now. More of that, because there's a lot still, even with less.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the sentiment of speaking with your wallet and letting corporations know that you won't stand for something that you find egregious. And we saw the absolute the outcome of that with the Engine of Vengeance. People thought it was too expensive, so they didn't fund it, and it didn't get funded, and that's it. And that definitely got across to Hasbro, and we see that now with Giant Man being so affordable. It's just
course correction.
I think what a lot of the discourse comes from is the arguments that come along with voting with your wallet. It's not just enough to speak by not buying a toy. You have to express your opinions about it, and that's not wrong, obviously, but the discourse that comes from that is less than posy, unfortunately.
No doubt. Super.
I know.
You want to read another super chat?
I know Static Thunder also had another one that I've lost, but it was something along the
Oh
lines.
my god.
Thank
you, Static Thunder.
It says, I didn't like Reva because she wasn't Fabio. Fabio deserved to
There
be
it
in the
is.
spotlight more.
There you go. That's the only answer. That's the only answer I
Oh, no.
accept.
Thanks, man.
That's right. That's the
We have another
Haslab I
one
would
from-
fund. That's the only.
Fabio could have braided his hair. He could have done it.
Bo Biggs, the man, the myth, hit us with 20 as well. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, Bo Biggs. My man.
Another
Thank you.
legend, BXTR Works, hit us with 10 as well. Hell yeah, my friend.
Let's
Let's go, my friend.
You want to get fisted or?
No.
Well, you got to put your. Oh, we've never done this before. We can have all 4 fists. Everybody do
You
it.
could.
Oh.
That's true.
You like that?
There it
I like
is,
that.
baby.
Boom.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
We did
Four of
it.
them.
Milestone
4 of
moment in podcasting right there.
Oh man.
How about
we got
4 of them?
timestamp that.
Who would
Oh,
have
yeah.
thought? Shelf Presence hit us with 5. He said, no, listen. This is a great comment. Bug, listen up. Moffex is already doing it, and these people are choking on $25. Imagine people having to pay $105 for every one figure every 3 months, LMAO.
Yeah.
Only if you're buying it in America.
It's true.
What? Who
That's
said that? Who said that?
I mean,
Who said
listen,
that?
man. I was talking about this last show as well, though. But like, even when you're buying some of the Sentinel figures directly from overseas, like we talking 150, 160. They've been going up there in price. And don't get me wrong, Sentinel is putting out some very, very nice figures. But I mean, that's close to the price of a 2-foot giant man, though.
Mhm.
Like, you know, where's the? I don't know.
It's rough.
I don't really know what
Well,
people want, man.
That's where I'm at too, and you know, Marvel Legends is unique in its, of course, character selection. You have pretty much every fucking character across the entire Marvel multiverse, right? And to do that, you know, they're going to be at that retail level price, which people are unfortunately, you know, mad about starting to creep up. But where I'm at, and people who are, I guess, big Mayfex collectors are at, is that it's kind of okay to not, you know, have every single goddamn character under the Marvel sun, as long as those core characters that you really, really want, marquee characters, are done super right with all the accessories and all the character-specific ways to express them as possible in one package for one big price, and you never got to buy that figure, that character again. Unless you like color variants.
What
Like, I don't need a goddamn
price of,
Razorback locked inside of a $120 Amazon 5-pack. I don't know who the fudge that is. I don't care. I'd rather just put that $125 towards one incredible, amazing Spider-Man, pun intended. Mezco, where's that? Next month?
I can't wait for the day.
I was about to ask
that.
you, what was the price of the Fantastic Four box set again?
$420.
Oh, yeah.
420. All right, so that's
what I'm
$420
talking
for
about.
the same amount of inches pause as Giant Man, right? You got 4 figures that's 6 inches a piece. That's 24 inches plus accessories and what have you. It's pretty much almost the same value, really, if you think about it. And that's $420 as opposed to like $230 or something like that. So I mean, again, we can make these type of comparisons all day long.
Well,
in terms of what you
But
get.
then I would argue I care a lot more about a really great core Fantastic Four team with premium deco and premium soft goods and tons of interchangeable parts more than I care about one just big figure.
Yeah, I mean, again, we can make all types of arguments and
With
comparisons.
single jointed
and
elbows?
that, but it all.
And that's why
it
I'm
all-
not mad if they fucking. I want them to delay it as delayed as Fantastic Four has already been. I don't give a shit. Delay it some
all
more and put it on the
depends
new
on
Ranger
you
body.
and your budget and your amount of disposable income, and that's really what it all boils down to. Because at the end of the day, this shit is all luxury items.
Mhm.
Like you don't need this shit to survive. So,
But you're
either
forgetting
you
one
can
other
afford
big
it
thing,
or you
too.
can't.
Real estate. Not everybody has the shelf, the shelf real estate to have every character under the Marvel sun. And one amazing deluxe steel box set Fantastic Four from Mezco takes up the same amount of space as the ones from Marvel Legends. And
Free
yes,
real estate is basically what you're saying.
It's free real estate.
It's free real estate. Hey,
It's free real estate.
Free real estate.
Any more super chats? Are we caught up?
No, that was it. I think. Hold on, let me double check. Oh no! How could I forget? Man, the myth, Stinky the Hut. It says Stinky the Hut Haslab when. Let's go.
Oh
You want
my
to talk
god!
dream projects, baby?
Mhm.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let me tell you something. There's a guy on this panel that worked on a Star Wars project.
It's true.
Maybe you could put in a good word for you.
And oh my god, I just lost it. Was it Cap Lives? Yeah, Cap Lives. Mezcos aren't one and done. I know that. There's plenty of variants. I have them, but you're still getting just a better single figure experience out of every single Mezco over,
Now, Fabio, is that just
McFarland.
your opinion, or is that a stone cold fact?
No, that's not. You can't say that as fact. That is not.
You telling me
true.
you're not getting more than the average McFarland Batman with a single Mezco? Of course you are for the price.
If you want to compare it to McFarland, some McFarland figures, maybe, yeah. But some of those, as much shit as we give McFarland, some of those bigger figures, some of those deluxe figures are insane. And also some of the stuff that's not even comic based from McFarland is pretty insane, like the Warhammer shit or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, when I was with Danny and Ed the other day, Danny had the Joy Toys Warhammer figure, which is fucking really nice.
Those are
Really,
crazy.
really nice.
Yeah, Dallas has a whole fucking army.
Yeah, those are extremely nice and much better than I expected in hand to mess around with them. The quality, the articulation, those are very well made figures.
Yeah, the detail, the paint, it's pretty incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Warhammer people, they're living good right now.
Yeah, they eating good.
Yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
definitely an outlier in that regard, but I think on average, most people are one and done with several Mezcos. Like Travis only has
Listen, man.
one Mezco Batman, and he's good.
Listen,
Other than, I guess,
by this time next year, Mezco won't even exist, bro.
Oh
so.
my god!
They got RumbleCon coming up. They got plenty of plot to show. They got 7 reveals coming our way.
Fucking
And-
over, bro.
That's at least 4 more years of business right there.
And tomorrow's Batman Day, so
Oh yeah, there could be a drop tomorrow.
might be something. I doubt
Tomorrow's
it, but
Batman Day. I feel like it's Batman Day every 3 months. You sure?
It's Batman Day every day for those who are real fans.
Real Wonka fans.
real Wonka fans. How about Bruce
How
Day?
about real Wonka fans only? How about that?
Well, Bruce Day would never take place the same day as Batman Day. Those two were never even in the same room at the same time.
Exactly. That's how you justify doing two different big Bat family related things without having to.
We spent a lot of time on on Giant Man. There is some other news. If there's anything in particular that you want to highlight real quick, but
this is a very big one.
It's a long one from the notorious Unk, who is very, very opinionated, but he stands on his opinions, and I respect that he won't back down from whatever it is he's trying to say. But he is a very opinionated and frequent commenter. So
he's notorious, is what you're saying.
The long and short too of this, if I may, is that they can't do a Blackbird. They're saying, but Super 7 doing a 112, in their scale Cat's Lair is absolutely crazy, and that it was technically a crowdfund. It did have to meet a minimum goal, and it did, and it's kind of like stayed there. And I think it's indicative of like that market. Like there's exactly this many Thundercats collectors, and they're all getting their Cat's Lairs, and that's it.
Yeah, and it's also not the same. That Blackbird, like people just don't understand. It would have to be like 6 feet long. It's not. It's just not the same. To be right scale.
We're talking about ship, a small. We're talking about basically like a PJ. Like it's the size of like a private jet, basically.
Even bigger. It'd have to be like the size of a big jumbo jet, basically.
I know the average person has never been on a private plane, but think about that though. A private plane will seat like, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 people or something like that.
Right.
Now, the seating for the Blackbird is not really for like 15 to 20 people. It's more for like 8 to 10 people or something like that. But still, that size for 6-inch scale, it's got to be details on the inside. Everybody's got to be able to seat comfortably. You got to be able to design it where you can get pictures with the, with the top off, with it open, clothes, this and that. Like that's a lot of little details and intricate little details. That's a lot, man.
And it doesn't help.
And to be devil's advocate, it is, and the company in their billions of dollars should be able. They should just take the risk on doing it anyway.
Yeah,
they could take the risk on doing that shit, and guess what? Like 100 of you motherfuckers would get one, because that would be it. That'd be the goal. 100 Blackbirds.
That's true, but they
funded in 3 minutes. That's it. 100 people got it.
But
good luck getting one on a secondary market. You're fucked. It's over.
The elephant in the room of that situation is, if they only make 100, are they taking a loss in the production of that type thing? Like,
probably.
That is the backbone,
and they should be okay with it, because the pro-consumer move would be to just do it anyway, regardless of.
That's absolutely right.
Realistically, maybe for something that scale and that big, they could do 500. Maybe 750.
Or what are we talking about?
On the Cat Slayer was 650 plus 100 shipping.
No, Dwight said it. It would have to be like thousands of dollars.
No, I'm talking about the amount that they could offer. That they could realistically like offer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what would the goal be? 650 backers, 700 backers, 1,000.
What's a break even?
You know,
I don't even know. Yeah, maybe the break even.
You know, the problem with the Blackbird is that it's just such a weird design. Like, it's so weirdly long. Like, just does not lend itself well. Like we've seen Toy Biz do the Blackbird, and that shit it was huge and still undersized. You know.
Yeah,
wildly undersized.
Right? Yeah, I still have that. I still have that old one. And that was a one-seater. That was to give one figure in the cockpit.
Yeah, and that 3D print, even that 3D printed one, like it's no disrespect to him because it's so incredible, but that's too small too. It's not big enough. At
the very least, he had the figure seated in there.
No, he did, and I think he fit like 8 figures in there. Maybe, which seating wise, that's great, but like design
then we gotta
wise,
get
like
into which 8 figures, because all the X-Men are different size. Beast and Colossus take up way more. They have bigger seats essentially.
Colossus can't even get on a plane unless he's in human form.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, basically, when
Colossus right there, that's the stretch goal done.
When he designed that Blackbird, he only designed it for the purpose of figures to go into it. He didn't account for the fact that like there has to be like a landing bay. Is that what you would call it? Like that ramp? Yeah, that ramp that goes down. Like realistically, like you can't put those figures walking out of the Blackbird. You can open the top of his Blackbird.
You got to be able to stand up. It's not like you just get teleported in. And well, I mean, I guess they could the X-Men.
Yeah, like his
teleport them in the seated position.
That guy's X-Jet is like realistically, it's half the size it's supposed to be. It should be double its size almost, because you have to stand up, and there's more than just seats on that X-Jet. So it's just a crazy ass design. It doesn't lend itself well. That shit is awkwardly long.
I mean, listen, again, at the end of the day, the space that we in right now, I do definitely feel like we're in the golden age of collecting. To even be discussing this at this level and having debate about it, I think all of that shit is healthy.
Yeah.
I just think that, we need to, as a community, root out a lot of the bullshit that comes with all of this. Like, we could discuss this and debate it and whatever, but when it gets personal, and then when the attacks become personal, and when things just kind of get out of hand and it's just outrageous, then it's outrageous. It's just
I'll play devil's advocate again. By us even just having the discussion at all on air right now, we are milking this shit for content. And we are
for sure. And everybody is, and everybody should be doing that. But at what cost though? Like, are you putting a battery in people's back to like fuck it up for everybody else that actually want to enjoy this shit or want this shit? Like, if it's not reasonable for you, then don't buy it. Don't fuck with it. But like, to be on this like crazy campaign to just make sure it fails, or take joy in it failing, and take joy in other people not having the opportunity to be joyful about some shit. Like, I don't know, it's a weird like weird masochists, like like I don't even know what that is. It's just strange. It's just
I think
strange.
Jice had a really good comment here also on the last episode. He says it's pretty simple. People want projects that would definitely not hit retail. Haslab should be dream projects, big projects like the Blackbird. Fantastic Four, the Fantastic Car is another good example. And in fact, when we were at Comic-Con and they were first teasing the first Marvel Legends Haslab, and it was Fantastic Four-esque themed. It ended up being Galactus, but my original guess was Fantastic Car.
And they've said
definitely a more fitted vehicle. You know,
Yeah.
they said it was doable when they were on here. They said Fantastic Car, the Punisher van. Those are more doable.
A freaking giant man is cool, but not for a Haslab project. Honestly, I don't mind wasting top dollar on something we know we can only get by funding.
If they went with a vehicle as the third one and it was the Punisher van, that shit would have funded instantly. It was just the fact that Robbie Reyes is just a fairly new character. It doesn't have that, like, you know, Marvel Legends fans are like 30s to like 50 something or whatever. Like Robbie Reyes.
Not even then. I think another big issue was that besides Mephisto, like all of those other ones were wrong. You should have done other Ghost Riders. It should have never.
100%.
Yeah,
it should have never been the Black Queen. Like, and I understand, like, there's no other way to get that Hellstrom. I understand that, but it wasn't the right choice. I think making it more Ghost Rider centric.
It could be Pulse exclusives like the Marvel Knights wave.
Yeah.
Then you're not running the risk of having them at retail, which was the concern, wasn't it? That these characters, by their satanic nature, would not be retail shelf friendly.
Yeah, if you would have had I forget it. I don't know his name. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know his name. But that Ghost Rider that's on a horse, you would have released that with that Robbie Reyes. Nope. Yeah, nobody's gonna say boo to that. Like
to homeboys, guys. I feel like that's Jason, somebody who's been commenting on the channel for a long time. But anyway, to his point, you know, the Engine of Vengeance could have truly been a dream project. And to your point, Rick, like, yo, they could have did the car, the horse, the motorcycle. Like, that would have been nuts. And then they could have probably almost charged almost anything they wanted to for that. If you were getting all three modes of transportation with 3 different Ghost Riders for the 50th anniversary of Ghost Rider, that would have made more sense, really.
And we wouldn't have complained if the motorcycle was just a retool of the one we already have.
Yeah,
nobody would have complained. Nobody would have said anything.
Yeah, like the sounds on it, whatever, you know.
Yeah,
that would have been totally
a Mezco alternative.
If they just
plenty
did
of
that,
Legends collectors who got the Mezco. Oh, sorry. Plenty of Mezco's collectors or Legends collectors who got the Mezco just to have a better bike.
Yeah.
I see that Ghost Rider alone all the time.
Original designs, then they could have killed it.
Bro, I even said that in the interview that I did for you when you weren't able to make it. I said that, if this Ghost Rider is a super kitted out bike, I mean, it's gangbusters.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't, let's say it's just the old one, just the fact that it would be so much more focused on the character, and it wouldn't have been all these random things like that Queen and the Hellstrom, like it was just too. It was too fragmented. It was not focused enough. I don't think
it was like a freaking, like, I don't know, man. They had a marketing meeting over like a blunt or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like you said earlier. The way you lock in those older fans that don't really have any affinity towards Robbie is those other riders. You don't do it with Hellstrom and fucking everybody else that was on that thing.
Well, I think they were trying. Those other characters for those older Legends collectors were definitely the carrot at the end of the stick for people who weren't into it as Robbie, who would just fund it to get the car as a car. And okay, you know, this incarnation of Ghost Rider. But what we really are here for is finally a Goblin Queen, finally Hellstrom, finally Mephisto, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
A couple more super chats real quick.
Let's move into some other news.
Yeah.
But
we'll do super chats and then we'll move into SHF.
Yeah, we must. Fat Man.
Yeah, I think we just got SHF and maybe one other thing.
Thank you, Fat Man, hitting us with 10. He says, I get more with Mezco, Fabio, but am I getting the jank with Mezco? No. Am I getting the weird anatomy? No. Am I getting huge diapers? No. So I think McFarland wins in terms of losing, sir.
That's right.
Oh,
he's absolutely right.
We do have to talk McFarland because McFarland had a bit of a showing in the wake of Waves Water Aquaman trailer.
You're something else, pal.
I didn't plan that. Sometimes you ever start a sentence and you just don't know where it's going to go.
That's the Michael Scott quote. Sometimes I just start a sentence and just see where it leads me. I don't even know what I'm going to say.
Yeah. Thank you, Sammy Stop Motion Oasis, for a $5 super chat. He says the Galactus took a long time to reach the minimum goal, and it's the most successful Haslab the Giant Man can and will fund. Agree?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm sure. Well, I mean, we literally do this for a living. So, you guys remember the Ghost? Like, it was not reaching those stretch goals for a long time. We kept saying like, those figures aren't going to happen because we already have them before, and it totally did. It's just weird how this stuff works out. It just picks up, and then once it gets as far along, people just start to give more and more and more.
There's plenty of people just sitting back and just waiting for that particular thing that speaks to them to happen for them to get off the fence. I kind of myself included. I still haven't even backed it. I'm not worried about this though. I was like genuinely worried about the EOV. Because the campaign against it was just so strong, but like I feel like the campaign against this is a lot of reaching. So I'm not really. I don't really see a scenario where this is going to fail because they've told us everything from the beginning, and then there's still room for them to add something else on, a surprise thing at the end anyway too. If they really, really need to save their ass, they can. So,
and shout out to Wade because when he had Ryan on, he wouldn't say no. He kept pushing. He wouldn't
say no about what? About another tier?
About another tier. He wouldn't say no. He wouldn't say no. He kept pushing and like say no, and he wouldn't say it. So you never know. You never know.
Gun to your head.
No. Jesus.
Fatman hit us with another 5 as well. He says, we get anime facts, Fabio, Mezco conspiracy theory bug. I love it. We need these to be show segments with sound effects.
Oh, yeah.
Not wrong.
And then I believe we are... Oh, no, one more. Excuse me. Jason S. hit us with 10. Thank you, Jason. I think it would actually be... I think actually a bare bones EOV might have worked, ironically. 250 for the car effects, both Reyes looks.
Yeah, even that would have been cool, too.
Yeah,
and you could have done the stretch goals like with this Giant Man. You could have made them like little things, and I think it would have been okay.
You missed a super chat by Shelf Presence.
Come on, man.
Thank you, Shelf Presence. $5. A mansion that can double as an Avengers mansion or a X-Men mansion.
Ooh, a little placard.
Tiers, no figures again. 300.
Exchangeable placard, huh?
Get this man a job at Hasbro.
Get this man a job at Hasbro.
Yeah. And right under that, Jason is also saying that Mephisto, Goblin Queen, and Hellstrom could have been a Pulse exclusive set, like the Hellfire Club. That's what I'm saying. Well, this is a family show. We're calling it the Heckfire Club.
Crazy.
There you go.
Okay, let's get into some other happenings in the toy world over here. There's other companies out here that be doing products, not just Hasbro. They just happen to have the literal biggest product. We wanted to talk a little Instamashi SHF.
Yes, sir. They're in Paris and they're going gorillas.
Have they now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, dude, they're doing Armored Core. That's kind of sick, actually.
That's really rad.
What's that?
That's not the news. That's the new From Software game.
Yeah. It's old as hell.
Well, the latest one, the Fires of Rubicon.
True. You're not wrong.
I saw Animated Heroes, shout out to Ace, post about this, so I know it's a big deal.
There it is.
Who's this guy? Oh, this is from One Piece?
Law.
What's up with that the live action One Piece? Any of you guys been watching that?
I haven't watched it yet, but Rebecca loves it.
I've been hearing good things about it.
Listen, man, I already don't watch cartoons. You think I'm going to watch live action adaptations of cartoons?
Why do you watch Marvel movies?
How can
Fabio?
anyone win with you, man?
That's basically a cartoon, man.
Because it's an obligation.
Well, it's something else. Can I just say that fuck that jacket or cape, whatever the hell you want to call it.
That looks wild. Is it a hard piece?
I need to move on. Yeah, it's hard plastic.
Oh no.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, they fucked up there. No. That should have definitely been soft goods.
I don't mind it.
Yeah. This too.
We got the
Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, Denji from Chainsaw Man.
powered down version of Chainsaw Man. Is that what I'm looking at?
That's the your Figma is worthless figure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your Figma's worth completely drained within 24 hours. Figure. Looks good. It looks like it. I mean, they didn't show it here obviously because this is just like a little announcement picture, but it looks like Pochita's gonna have different faces.
Yep.
Nice.
He has that line. He has that line like it's gonna be interchangeable, so that's good.
Yeah, interchangeable. Yeah. I mean, we see two here anyway, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant the little
The little Pochita. Yeah, the little chainsaw dog. Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
He has the lines like he has interchangeable plates.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. And what's next? Where's my boy?
There he is.
There he is. Oh my
Boy.
god. Cloth
My
cape.
son.
Ever heard of it? My young son. Oh, wow.
I'm interested in this.
is,
I'm interested to see how this is because the Figma versions of these are very nice, but they are limited.
Very, very limited.
Delicate.
This is so nuts. This is like a dream come true. I never thought that Bandai would ever have the Berserk license. This is crazy.
I don't know if I'm all in for buying all these characters.
no.
again for Bandai.
Why are you saying
I
that?
spent so much money on the Figma stuff.
Why are you saying that?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying,
Well-
man. I spent
well-
so much money on the Figmas, man.
Well, you know what? Good thing for you. Is that Figma never really made anything other than this. So going forward, you're buying all new. If you want to stick with your Figma and mix and match, like they've never made a Skull Knight. Although maybe I'm forgetting and they teased it or something, but definitely SHF is going to make a Skull Knight, and that Casca is super expensive. I don't even know if do you have that Casca?
No, that's one of the ones for Figma I don't have. Yep.
Yeah, game. You don't. That shit is so expensive. You want these guys to make a Casca.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I'd love it if these guys I don't think they will because no companies really do it, but I'd love it if they do more Band of the Hawk. I'd love a Judo and a Rick Art and a Dream Pippin. Yeah.
Nice.
I think they'll do other members of his current party, like they would do probably Shurike or they would do like Faranes or something, or I think they'll do those. And Figma obviously never did them. Their line was so small, so I can't wait for going forward now because they're pretty much like everything they do going forward is going to be way different than what Figma done because they just never did it. So
I don't know why they took Band of the Hawk off of Netflix. You would think they would just let
dude,
that.
That was. Well, you know what? I think that they were in the
removes content for no reason.
I think that those movies were being like cut up and streamed on Crunchyroll for some strange reason as like some sort of anniversary deal. I never watched them that way, but yeah, I believe that they were like cut up for some strange reason and put on Crunchyroll.
What else we got? SHF.
I love how it's too.
They got some Seiyas, huh?
Seiya getting a
revival resale vote. This was voted.
Okay.
There you go.
Every Brazilian that we don't know.
Every Brazilian and South American man did it.
Not wrong.
Yeah, I would love to meet the Brazilian or South American equivalent of Poncho as he is with DBZ SHF, and get this person who's into the Saint Seiya, the guy who leased out some mall space to display his collection.
The fact that you just said Francisco. Oh man, that's amazing.
Shout out to all the Franciscos out there.
All the Franciscos.
And if you want to, can we go to Lagos page really quick?
Yeah.
Because there's something that's like related, but not enough to even give it a topic, and that's just really
Shout out
fast.
to
to go
Lago.
through.
He was in the chat holding it down.
Oh, you know what? He actually has
Oh.
an in-hand picture of
Wednesday.
Guts on display.
Yeah, it's on display right there. Look at that.
Wait, what is this? This
Incredible.
is the SHF one?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That thing is hanging on for dear fucking life.
It really
Look at
is.
That thing looks like it'd blow over with a strong sneeze.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's over.
Yeah. Shout out to Lago.
Yeah.
Big shouts to Lago. Hey.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
hey, what's going on here?
there's a fucking Yamcha.
Yamcha, baby.
The hand through the joint. You like that?
Yeah, this is going to be releasing soon.
No.
The Android.
Oh, the Android. Yamcha?
Third form Frieza
Oh.
is in collectors' hands right now. Yeah,
As we speak.
Is
As
it?
we
A.C.B.A.
speak.
Really?
worldwide shipping
Yeah, it's
said, sorry I'm late. And I guess just like that's like the first like store that everybody is getting their stuff from. I'm sitting here ordering from Nin Nin.
Yeah,
like a
me
sucker.
me and Pancho a few days ago were like, man, they're never gonna get it together. They're never gonna be on time, and sure enough, they are. And those were the two, Fabio. Those were the two things I wanted to talk about. Number one, me and Pancho have very differing opinions on this Rurouni
Absolutely.
Kenshin. Go back. Those sleeves
That's
are
Samurai
absolute.
X.
Those sleeves are absolutely
fine.
hideous, and you would have to get Tupac to come back from the grave and slap me into some sense to
They're
fuck
fine.
with these sleeves. These are no good, especially because like his biggest thing is putting his hands inside of his
That's
other
true.
sleeve.
Well, they could have made a sculpted version of that too. They could
Did
have.
Maybe they did. Keep going. Maybe if they
Yeah,
didn't,
but
then
it's
this
very
is a
soft
moot
goods. Why would
point.
you do the whole
Let me-
thing soft goods?
let me
That's what
tell
I'm
you.
saying, Fabio. Like the third party one that's $36. That's all cloth
Yeah.
goods. Is that what you're kind of trying
exactly
to
what
allude
I'm
to?
referring to.
Okay. I just
I
want to
don't
make
know,
sure.
man. I hate it. My biggest pet peeve with soft goods at this scale is when it looks like it's too big for the figure. I hate getting soft goods. I hate getting a soft goods jacket that sits above their shoulders, or like the stitching is like huge on it. Like I just don't want. I don't want it. It looks like cheap to me. It looks cheap and it looks like kitschy and it looks like it looks like something I don't want to spend a premium, not even a premium.
I mean-
I just don't want something like that in my collection. If something looks goofy and wacky,
Just
I don't
say
want it,
if you don't like playing Dolly dress up, just say that.
brother. Nobody
Okay.
likes playing Dolly
Just
dress up
say
more
that.
than your
I would
boy.
never say that. I love it.
Yeah, I just sent the pictures. To you, Fabio. I just think that this looks way better. You know, it's funny because mine is the opposite. My pet peeve is those hard plastic sleeves. I hate them so much. They remind me of a 90s action figure. I'd rather live in the now, brother.
Like,
Look at that. Go Poncho,
it's
come
fine.
on.
It's just
Come
okay.
on.
I don't like how the materials sit so high, bro. I want you to dress up a real 1-to-1 sized human being right now, and I want them wearing clothes like this right now. You be roasting the shit out of this guy.
Yeah, you know, these let me tell you something, Poncho, okay? These guys not learning how to fucking lay their fabric flat.
It's not even that. It's not even
Come on.
that. Like, it's
Come on,
just
Yeah, you have to pose the
Nah,
clothing,
dog.
Poncho. That's up
Yeah,
to the
come on,
No,
brother.
the user
the
Pose
end.
the clothes.
Get it to
way
that.
this
You
kimono.
get it flush. You got to spend time
No.
doing it, brother. Like planting the
Let me
feet
tell
flat
you,
on
the
the
way
ground.
this the way
True.
the pattern is for this kimono and the material they use, you would have to douse this thing with starch for it to get to behave like a real kimono would. Like,
You're
No,
doused in
man.
starch.
You don't got starch.
No,
You're an
no, no, no,
American.
no.
Come on,
Dude.
man. It's in your house. Go get back and bring
absolutely
it.
not.
It's there.
Absolutely not. If my figure looks like it's wearing a jacket that's 4X's too big for him, I just don't want it. Like, this guy's looking like he's wearing his stepdad's jacket. I don't fucking want this in my collection at all. Like, and you know what?
Bro,
and
he's
you know
going-
what?
He's going for that Y2K
You know what?
fit.
I do own this figure, and I don't like
Yeah,
it.
I got pictures. I got pictures of Kanye West.
And I
right
don't like the way
now
that motherfucker
looking like that,
dresses.
pal. It's real though. It's real. That's the point. It's real. There's real boys out there in Italy getting some type of sexual act on a boat
What in the fuck are
with
you
this
talking
sweater
about?
on, bud. What happened to Kanye
Oh,
West
sorry,
last week?
sorry.
Spotted in Italy. Doing
Come
lewd
on.
acts.
Yeah, let me say the bottom.
The number one Kanye
The
West
bottom line
podcast.
for me is I would hand over fist every day of the week. I would take sculpted. So I would take sculpted, a better sculpt over a questionable soft goods all day, every day. I don't care. That's why I don't. That's why these Dragon Ball capes don't bother me. Yes, there are good soft good alternatives for it, but when I see Dragon Ball SHF come out with a Great Saiyaman or like a Gamma 1 and 2, or even this Law that just came out with a plastic cape, if it's sculpted in a way that looks good on the figure, I don't care. It's fine. It's fine to me. That's how he looks in the show. That's how his like cape looks in the show. It's fine. Not his cape, but like his jacket.
Oh yeah, stiff. It looks stiff, huh? Is that what it looks like?
What do you want me to say?
It looks soft. It has texture,
Dude,
baby.
but what are you gonna
It looks
get?
like
You're gonna get
fabric.
a mink and wool coat at that scale, looking like this. It's gonna look like you're crocheting a jacket
Let me
on him.
tell you.
Mythic Legions can
No.
do
Let
it.
me tell you something, pal. GPS Lot
No,
right
don't hit me
now
with that
is
GPS lot
laughing at
nonsense,
you.
dude.
The
No.
thousands he's gonna make on this law are laughing at
It's true.
you.
It's very possible. It's very
Oh, they got
possible.
their ear to the ground. They know exactly
The biggest anime,
what goods the community needs.
the biggest anime and manga of all time.
I'm telling you, bro, there are certain materials that don't look good at this scale, and I don't think like a very woolly and soft material such as Law's jacket right here would look good. The perfect example is your king GPS lot. I want you to look up Broly's sash made from the hide of that animal right now. That shit looks like a clown. It looks
That does look
awful.
really bad.
It looks terrible.
Tell me this though, like how often is he without the coat jacket thing in the anime?
Like solidly, not like almost even. Like almost even.
Rick.
Call my wife.
I'd say like almost even. He's also really well known for wearing his sweater. I could totally see GPS Law making his sweater. He has like a blue sweater with like a smiley face on it, or like a black one with a smiley face on it.
Well, this is clearly going to be removable, though, right? You can
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. All this to say, there's definitely a code to be cracked when it comes to making acceptable and even good-looking 1/12 scale soft goods. It's just some of these companies haven't cracked the code yet. Our boy, the homie CJism, he cracked it long ago, and he's been killing it in the game forever. But when it comes to this when it comes to like some Dawson stuff and like some of this stuff you see on GPS Lot, like they just haven't done it. There are jackets and there are coats on GPS Lot where they have like a front breast pocket that has stitching the size of your fist in scale. It's insane. Like I don't want to look like that. It looks like it's, you know, like a doll from like the 70s or something.
It looks cheap. Yes, we get.
I mean, it is what it is. It's a doll,
fair, they are.
baby. I mean, look at these fans.
GPS Lot is cheap, and that's why we sing the praises of CJ, but his soft goods cost as much, if not more, than the figure you're putting the soft goods on. Most
If you
of the time.
Shit,
Yeah.
the soft goods cost as much.
You
as
get what you pay for.
Yeah,
1/1 scale shit
absolutely.
for yourself.
Hey,
Yeah,
and the biggest
I mean,
the biggest
we just call that
the
regular
biggest
clothes.
testament to that
regular
is
clothes.
if you look at CJism's offerings for some stuff that has third party alternatives that you may find on places like GPS Lot, like the Dragon Ball jackets from the Broly movie. CJ, he patterned those out, he stitched them, he produced them. They look immaculate. But then you see some of the offerings on GPS Lot, and it looks like it comes on a Barbie doll. It's crazy. It looks cheap. It looks terrible. The patterns are awful.
Wow.
And
tell me you didn't watch the movie without telling me you didn't
what
watch
are you trying to say, Rick? What are you trying to say?
It's a good film. It's a good film. Ken's a great character, and so is Barbie.
No.
I don't know
I'm
what
not
you
talking
wanna
about the
say.
film,
I don't
Barbie.
know what you wanna say.
I'm talking about the product, my friend. I'm about the product.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you
Spin
who
this however
GPS
you
Lot
want. I thought this
does
was the no
soft goods better
spin
than.
zone.
I'll tell you who GPS Lot does better soft goods than.
Who?
McFarland Toys, because that Bane jacket is unforgivable.
It's
There's so many better alternatives, quote unquote, on on GPS slot for any Bane. But speaking of McFarland, the man had a bit of a
Speaking
showing.
Speaking of the
as of
topic
late.
I brought up, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Nice job. You should have just agreed with me on the cloth goods. Look at what you did.
Yeah. Now
This is your fault.
Now you've
It's
made
a
me
butterfly
muscle my way
effect.
into
Don't
it.
you dare click on that
'Cause,
sports shit. Don't you dare. There's no reason for us to go into that.
All right, fine. I won't. However, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom trailer just came out. What, yesterday?
Shout out to
Right,
Dave
maybe?
Walton who says it looks
All right.
fantastic.
Yep.
Shout out to Dave Walton.
Yeah, shout out to
Really?
Dave.
No, he doesn't.
I thought
It's
it
all right.
looked
It's
awful.
fine.
He definitely
I thought
didn't
that
say
shit looked off. Yeah, he said this. I think his exact words were, "This looks really good."
He sure did.
I think were his exact words.
All-time great take from D-Walt.
This does not look good.
The movie or the figures?
The trailer.
Either
Oh, yeah, the
one.
trailer? Yeah. The fact that they're still using footage from Aquaman 1 is sus.
I mean, what does that tell you?
Too,
You know, what does that tell you?
you know?
But I'm excited to see Yaya fucking kill it again as Black Manta. Black Manta looks really good.
Oh, he looks absolutely ripped.
Fucking
This
love
dude.
Yaya Abdul Mateen. He's so
Yeah,
All right now.
he's Dr. Manhattan, dude. He's fucking
yeah.
great.
Dr. Manhattan, he's incredible.
He's great.
He's a goat.
No doubt.
Also in that movie is fellow Metallica concert attendee Jason Momoa as Aquaman. He was in the snake pit, bro. Did you guys see those videos?
Yeah. You said it last podcast.
Oh, it was amazing. Anyway, here he is as the Aquaman. Pre-orders launched, I think, today. Yeah, today. The pre-orders are up for this wave. It is here's Aquaman, with his trident, extra hands, and collectible
It
art
doesn't-
card and base.
It doesn't look terrible. It's got some extra hands. It doesn't look great, but it's not
It
good.
looks like Jesus Christ, bro.
He's his arms look like corn.
His arms do still look like corn cobs. I was going to say that, yeah. But overall,
so funny.
Really good suit design for Aquaman.
Somebody on the Discord, or was it in a group chat? I don't remember. Was like, damn, they just made him all black. How lazy. I was like, yeah, because they don't want people to make the memes of him looking like corn.
Yeah. They are kind of doing that.
Corn on the cob, Jesus. Got it.
Jesus.
It's a good look. It's a good looking design. And then next up is the aforementioned Black Manta with like probably one of the most like comic accurate suit designs. I mean, Aquaman is pretty comic accurate in his own way too. But
Yeah, this looks
Yeah.
a little
down to like the
proportion, though.
single like
Yeah, I was
thing.
shout out to the absolutely horrific proportions of this figure.
Yeah, looks a little weird.
That shit is rough. When you see him, look at, oh my god, why are his thighs as wide as his chest? What's happening?
The diaper is huge too.
Oof, Jesus, man. I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah.
I think I asked you guys this before, but when Anthony's Customs reviews these figures, he gives them props.
He reviews them on their own scale.
On their own sliding scale, right? Okay.
Based on
because
the
of their price.
Yes.
Because of their price. Yeah, he usually gives them much more leeway.
He doesn't go in about the sculpt on these things at all. The proportions. He's a big proportion guy, right?
Yeah.
That's always what I found strange, is that he's like a really big proportion. I'm not one of those type of people. Like when I see these Marvel Legends, I'm like, oh, the shoulders. But these McFarlands are so egregious, and he doesn't give them that hard of a time because of that price. And I just don't see it. Like he could have his own opinion. Nobody's here saying that he can't have his own opinion, but he had like McFarland figures in his top 10, which was pretty nuts. I don't know, man. I don't know. They just never. They're very, very few that don't look like this. Very strangely proportioned.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, these legs are just.
I asked that. I'm not being not trying.
No.
But I asked that because I did just take a look at Artemis Prime's Street Humans figure, or one of the Street Humans figures, and he had mentioned to me that he was gonna try to get a sample over to Anthony too, and so it crossed my mind, and then I started thinking about that in my own review, and I was pretty pleased with the sculpt on the figures, with the proportions and everything looked very sound to me. So I'm interested to see what he has to say about that. I'd watch that,
Yeah.
For sure.
Different
And
strokes,
then
different folks.
no doubt.
also in this wave is the stealth suit.
Stealth suit, huh? Stealth in the
suit.
water.
This
Yeah,
is the
be all-
you can't corn cob him now, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there he is with the trident, and I think that's all he comes with. Trident, collectible art card, and base. Right.
Is my man that we met at Comic Con doing all of these shots for McFarland
More
too?
than likely, I would imagine.
Aesthetic, yeah, I think so. Probably seems like it.
Shout out to him for doing the impossible.
Definitely did all the Batman stuff.
Yeah, shout out to him for doing the Lord's work. Literally.
He's out there, dude.
And again, it's so crazy that there's still pins on these figures.
Mm.
And then this one,
the figure looks really good right there in that vanilla stance. The sculpt and everything looks pretty nice there.
This one here,
yeah,
it's a much better
Sometimes
proportion.
they hit. I'm not gonna lie. The Blue Beetles are great.
Yeah,
yeah,
they hit. And this is just what he's great at right here. Is
some of them hit
shit like this, you know.
Yeah, all those
sure.
Warhammer ones are really really good. I have those Space Marines; those are so good. His monsters from that line are good. The Blue Beetle is a great figure, good body. Proportions still aren't proportions aren't perfect. I meant the comic ones, but I hear the movie ones are really good too. The comic ones, the proportion is still weird. However, the articulation is very comparable to Marvel Legends, the one with Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. That body, it's good. So he has hitters, and I'll give him the compliments when he does it. But when he doesn't have them, he's gonna get it because it's egregious.
This is egregious.
This is egregious.
Is this
is outrageous.
Is this a character that actually is comic book accurate or appears in the comic books as well?
I don't read enough Aquaman to know.
I don't know. This is King Cordax from the movie.
Okay.
Supposedly the original wielder of the MacGuffin, this black trident.
Okay, he looks very.
This guy looks like an ant for sure. His roots run deep, brother.
Yeah. An ant if he fell into Davy Jones' crew from
Yeah, this guy's talking shit to fucking Jack Sparrow very, very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's from the comics, but he never looks like this from what I'm seeing. He looks like a green-skinned merman in all these pictures. I don't see him looking like Water Groot anywhere.
Water Groot.
What is this?
Oh, man.
Dude, I literally don't see anything even remotely close to this.
What's that cape thing that's hanging off him? Is that a cloak or cape or whatever? Is that plastic?
It's the hardest. That's the heaviest, hardest cape you've ever seen, pal.
Probably.
I'll tell you that. This is crazy. He's not even kind of close to this. What is going on?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not even.
No, it's not. That's not McFarland's fault. No. That's not his fault. Yeah, that is crazy. What were these designers thinking? It's like not even kind of close. It's weird.
Yeah, weird. I mean, I guess in this look, he's just kind of more generic green guy.
Yeah, he's just generic green sea person, man.
Green merman.
Yeah, he's not tree. The Water Groot.
There he is in DC Universe Online. So Dallas has had run-ins with him.
Oh yeah.
All right, King Cordax. And then how about a gold label offering as well? How about Aquaman in his stealth suit, half translucent?
With the squid man.
With a squid.
Yeah, everybody just wants it for the octopus pretty much. Yeah. It's like the consensus. Because he's from the comic books too, that octopus.
Really? Okay.
He has a name.
Tipo.
Topo Gijo.
Okay.
Yeah. Topo Chico.
Topo Gijo.
Oh, Storm Rising has a good point too. The movie is directed by James Wan again. James Wan directed the Conjuring movies, Saw before that. He's a big horror guy, and those trench creatures in the Aquaman movie are like horror creatures essentially.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, remember
little spin on it, huh?
You remember when DC? You remember when DC/WB announced that they were making a trench movie, only for them to years later claim that it was always a lie and that they were going to secretly reveal that it was a Black Manta movie, but it was never made because nobody wanted to see a trench movie. Oh, how crazy was that?
Right.
How strange is how backwards thinking is that, huh? Jesus.
So it's the same as the other one, except he's like half translucent because it's like a
He's
stealth.
got some translucent parts, some translucent hands and shit there. Okay.
Yeah, on his invisible woman shit. Here's speaking of the trench, how about the sunken citadel pirate megafig?
When I think pirate, I think of
One
this guy.
color. What's going on here?
That's a pirate if I've ever seen one.
Why is he all one color? What's happening?
He's kind of a weird bronze, couple of hits of like darker metal-ish. I don't know.
It looks like a statue.
It's a mega fig, so it is going to be on that bigger scale, $40 price point, and it's an army builder, so definitely a wait for clearance type of thing if you're trying to army build.
Oh boy. Okay.
There you go. If your King Cordax needs some goons, there you go. And then the real thing that's got the community abuzz.
Ooh, a giant seahorse.
Storm the Seahorse.
That's going to win a Figure of the Year award, huh?
Is this
this is Vehicle of the Year 2024 already.
This the builder figure?
No, this is just a separate vehicle.
Yeah, a vehicle.
Kind of like the Joker Dragon and the any of the Bat bikes.
Hey, like I said this a little while ago. When McFarland does some of these bigger figures, it's definitely a win.
I've been touting the vehicles. I mean, I've gotten almost all of them since the Bat Raptor.
Are you getting this for your
McFarland figures?
Are you gonna get this? Huh?
I'm getting this for Aquaman. Are you kidding me? Hell yeah!
Yeah, I was about to say for your Aquaman. Yeah,
for Mezco Aquaman, this is great.
Yeah. I'm with you,
Captain Nemo, this is great. For Baron Benz, this is great.
Ooh, now you're talking. Now you're selling me. Now I want this horse.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how hard he had to work to kind of get Aquaman kind of mounted on this, and what is Photoshop and what is not, though.
Oh, that top half and that bottom half is in no way connected.
No, there's no.
There's no way. There's no way that is not connected.
It does have a stand, so that all right. And it is sold out according to Jason S. Sold out already on BBTS at least.
Oh, nice.
But it's McFarland. These things are chronically overproduced most of the time. You'll find this at retail eventually.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, again, man, we give McFarland a lot of shit, but he's clearly selling a lot of toys still too.
Mm-hmm. And maybe it's just the way DC does things, but it really does seem like they have like the final designs, ahead of time.
Pretty spot on. Yeah, pretty spot on.
Coincide with the actual release of the movie.
Yeah. Marvel still having quite a bit of problem with that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, there you go. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom figures. There's some statues and all that, too, but, whatever. I think that's all we got. Oh, one more thing we actually forgot during Hasbro. I always do this. on my uncle shit right here. People were saying we forgot to mention G.I. Joe during Hasbro.
Yes, G.I. Joe did have some drops today. These were on Hasbro Pulse. I thought they were on Target. I thought Target had other stuff besides the Marvel Legends stuff that went up on Target, which we didn't mention, which was the retro carded Amazing Fantasy 15 Spider-Man with the different colored spider emblem on the back, and Moon Knight. Those two things went up on Target. They may still be on the site. A link for them I don't know where a link is actually. Where's the link? I don't know. I didn't post it.
So that's part of the Target Fall Geek Out. So
correct.
They are up now.
So if you want Moon Knight and Spider-Man, if you need them and you don't have them at all, or you want to just keep these carded because it is the back to the regular retro carding packaging, then here's your opportunity. They seem to be still up on Target. Yeah, aside from that, there was also the G.I. Joe Classified Python.
I gotta get props on this pose real quick. This is pretty sick.
Yeah, not bad.
And
yeah, but there was also the G.I. Joe Python Patrol versions of the Cobra Officer, Copperhead, and who else was it?
The Televiper with Trouble Bubble.
Oh, the Televiper. Right. Yeah, this is the Python Patrol Copperhead. I don't even have the fucking regular Copperhead yet, but
And that's kind of the conversation going around right now is that these repaints are up, and a lot of people don't even have the originals.
have the originals yet. Yeah. I don't have the Trouble Bubble. Yeah. Oh man, I saw somebody slay themselves the other day in one of those GI Joe groups, speaking on the Trouble Bubble alternate head with the like ethnic
that was a
alternate
rough
head. Oh
screenshot.
man,
What a hill to die on.
they roasted
That
him. They
crazy.
roasted him. Yeah, that was wild. I don't know
You
why.
should have screenshotted it. Send it to me. I want to
That
see
was
it.
crazy. So yeah, this stuff is still up, but again, personally, I don't care about any of this Python Patrol bullshit. I just want
See,
the regular.
I'm about to have the other opposite take. Am I crazy in thinking that all this Python Patrol and Cobra Island stuff looks like way more interesting than the originals?
Nah, I don't know. I don't know.
Not Tiger Force. Tiger Force.
No, I don't want Tiger Force or Python Patrol of any of this stuff. Honestly, I'm good on this. It'll save me a couple bucks because, yeah, I want the regular version of Copperhead, and I've got a couple Cobra officers already in their regular gear. I don't want this Python Patrol.
Oh, and I guess the Televiper and Trouble Bubble is $10 cheaper than the original. That's funny.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's some bullshit. And the whack colorway. No, that's whack.
It's all part of the
yeah,
target.
I think this stuff is still available right now. I see Public Enema having talking about Target, but again, I don't think this stuff was on Target. I think it was on Hasbro Pulse.
It's on both, so it's
it was on both.
on
Okay.
Target, just like these Legends ones are, but with limited quantities, also on Pulse.
Okay, got you. All right, that's pretty much it. We want to talk about some new shit that we're watching.
There's some super chats real quick. Batman, real quick, says, you guys gonna show that new third-party Inuyasha on 5K? Looks pretty great. All soft goods. Let's look.
I think
what is it?
Inuyasha
What is it?
Figure on.
I think we showed it on Wednesday, but here it is again.
Okay.
Yeah, because we were talking about how the
we did. We
hardwood
did.
base as slam dunk.
It's another.
Yes. And I said how those feet was a little sus.
Well, I can't.
Yeah,
I need
see it in this photo.
See, the kimono here is passable. It's like it's patterned out, tight fitting enough to where it doesn't look crazy. Like the collar is still a little floaty and whatever, but I'm cool. I'm fine. And
I think just the head.
Thank
really
God
floaty
they
too.
went with a plastic belt right here, because that's another big pet peeve of mine. It's like tiny, soft, good, like belts that you have to tie up.
That belt looks kind of wild. It looks like that looks like some Barbie shit, honestly.
It looks like Miss
The paint
bow.
definitely could use some work. Let's not get it twisted. But yeah.
I mean, I totally agree with you because I had to actually put on the belt on that third party Skull Sergeant. My God, I've never been so close to the edge.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that.
Batman hit us with 5 earlier in the show as well. He said that new figure arts Guts Berserker armor looks insane. Must buy, man, for the love of God. Figure arts, give me Zod, please. Hell yeah. And then John P hit us up. He said, "What's up, y'all? I feel like they could add a helmeted head, alternate body strap harness, giving you the option to make it look like a big Ant-Man." That's true. They should.
They could. They surely could have. But have we ever really seen them like that? I guess we have. I suppose so.
What, a lab coat?
No.
Hopkins lab coat would have done it.
He's worn the lab coat when he's giant.
Yeah.
That would have been nice. Just saying.
Listen, Fabio was just saying, or Rick was just saying that Ryan wouldn't commit to.
Yep.
There not being something else. So I could definitely see it just being another head sculpt on some bullshit. But if they really wanted to, push the needle at the last moment, it would just be a 6-inch Wasp and her classic red outfit or something like that on a new body, though. Or
what if
if it's any wasp on the Black Widow body, it's money. It's money in the bank.
what if they did that blue one that Toy Biz didn't do?
Yeah, or that.
They did that though.
Oh, they did.
They
Damn
do
it! Yeah,
that
they
one.
did on
Yeah,
a
they did.
retro.
A
They
retro
did.
card, but it was
Yeah.
an old body though. We don't want that. They can keep that.
Put it on Black Widow's body.
Yeah, if they do a wasp on the Black Widow body, yeah, it's money in the bank.
How can a lab coat grow giant? The same way a man does, PIM
And the
particles.
same way his other clothes do.
Oh, what about a giant unmasked head? A giant just Hank Pym.
Ooh, that'd
be cool.
With
Yeah,
the little cow to put around his neck.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and you know he the nice part, they're obviously not going to do it. This is wishful thinking. But if they did the lab coat, he's actually even worn the lab coat while he's a zombie before. So
another obvious one would have been a skull head to do like the Old Man Logan, look.
Yeah, we have mentioned that
skull head.
So skull head. I'm biased. I love skulls.
Any additional tiers would have to be another figure or some very small miniature versions of Ant-Man and Wasp. That's really the only thing that would make sense, honestly.
Honestly, I just want to commend this team for not giving us a fucking MU Ant-Man in this thing. Because that would have sent people over the fucking edge.
Yeah, for sure. It would have kind of been on site. Then I might have condoned attacking them physically.
Oh my god.
Well, I think that's a nice bookend. We started on Giant Man, ended on Giant Man. What's everybody watch?
I want to go. I want to watch. I want to see. I want to see Blue Beetle. I heard Equalizer 3 was trash.
Oh no! Rick said he loved it. Art with
you
toys.
saw it, Rick?
Saw what?
No, my neighbor. Rick.
Oh, your neighbor. I don't know. There's a lot of shit to watch. I didn't watch. I'm not caught up on Ahsoka, so I don't know.
You should. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, I will.
You've done this.
I don't know. What you guys got? Recommendations? Any docs that are good right now?
I have not been watching much of anything lately, to be honest.
I did watch that tennis doc that was on Netflix. It was pretty good.
Did I?
Which one? Based on which tennis player?
Based on quite a few tennis players. It was following different, breakout kind of stars and different stars. It followed like 6 or 7 different tennis players, basically.
Yeah.
And each episode.
Oh
yeah, Ebony Leopard is recommending My Adventures with Superman. I've heard that's pretty good.
Oh man, that show is so fucking good.
What's that on?
If it's on Max. What happened? Yeah, it's done by Studio Mir. Studio Mir is the studio that did Korra, and it did like a bunch of other shows. A Korean-based anime studio. It's like anime-based design. And what happened was that it would air live on Cartoon Network every Wednesday, and the following day it would be on HBO Max. Super good show. 3 episodes in, it got approved for a season 2. Highly recommend that show. It's so good.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Hopefully, it leads to an anime Justice League verse, because it's really good.
All right. I could see that. Anything else? Any more recommendations? Something to watch.
I mean, it's not out yet, but Blue Beetle, it's really good. Great movie. Great movie.
All right, what you guys got going on?
Hey, what's up? It's me, Rick. From the podcast. I'm here. I'm talking shit. Sometimes out of my ass. Sometimes not. Why don't you be the judge? Tell me in the comments below. How about that? Let us know in the comments below when I've been talking out of my ass. Feel free. I won't get offended.
Hey, hi, I'm Fabio. My friends call me Fopster. On Instagram, Fopster360, posting photos. RumbleCon is next week, so I'm here just posting regularly to coincide, celebrating Rumble Society characters. Go follow me on there if you want to see those photos. YouTube, Officer360 as well. Going to be documenting the toy room process in some way, so go subscribe there and check that out. Might be in the form of stream, some videos, things of that nature soon. And then follow me on Twitch, Fobster360, also streaming Baldur's Gate 3 right after this. So come watch me be very, very evil and do questionable things to pixelated characters that I'll then feel bad about.
All right.
Yeah.
P, your turn.
Nothing. Just
No, what about Lorcana? You got
I was gonna say, aren't you gonna do something after this show?
Openings after the show, if you want to watch. That's pretty cool too. I'm gonna be opening up some stuff. I'm gonna open up some like Pokemon cards and some other shit too. Who knows? We'll figure it out.
We doing? Are you gonna do MetaZoo?
Why not?
Fuck yeah!
You're not really doing MetaZoo, are you?
He better. I want to see him get the fucking Fresno Nightwalker.
Okay, then I'm doing V-Friends.
What is that? What is V-Friends?
Yeah, exactly. I can go more obscure than you.
I don't.
See, I'm a big fan.
I don't know. I just saw these at Target, and me and my wife are really into like cryptids, so they're fun.
Dude, they're so fun. They're really fun. And I just, you know what? I love that Cinderella story of this guy like just making goofy little cards about fucking cryptids and how big it got. And he's in fucking Targets and Walmarts. Like that's awesome. That's so cool. I love it.
So yeah. Direct.
What about
Dusties?
Dusties? Are you doing those still?
You're absolutely right.
Nice.
Just if you have them pre-ordered, keep your eyes peeled, baby, for those DMs because invoices are going out. And that's that. I am going to be away this weekend, so tomorrow I won't be doing anything. I might do some behind the scenes stuff, and I might send some invoices out. I don't know what I'm saying, but it is what it is. I put out a couple of polls on my Instagram story about like just what people would want to see from like the next iteration of Dusties, whether you want, if it's going to be like less pieces but they're bigger, or do you want like more pieces in a pack or anything like that. So I'm collecting that data as we speak, and then I'll dive even deeper. I have an idea of where I want to go for wave 3 of Dusties, but I do want to get opinions of the people that are buying them. So that's what.
You know what? I would give you my opinion live, but I don't want anybody to steal them from another country, so we can't reach you. Nice job, man. You don't got the reach that Tablos has.
Everybody is saying, I want to know who is behind the movement of Green Dusties. I swear to God, I will find you, and I will I will just be disappointed at you in person. But yeah, a lot of people are saying Green Dusties. I just don't know. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. I'm getting bullied into this.
Come on, do a limited run. It doesn't have to be a big. You don't have to have like open pre-orders for Green Dusties. Just buy a certain amount of filament. Whatever gets made, gets
last
made.
week, I might do a spool of green filament, and we'll figure it out. Might hit it. No,
we're doing it. We're doing it.
This is how every product I launch comes to fruition. People just constantly bully me into it for weeks on end, and then I just do it. So that's just where we're at.
Wow. See, no wonder this is just reaffirming people with Hasbro. This is why people talk shit to Hasbro. They wish them death and dishonor, because they know that they can just do this to people. Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Has got the right idea. I should crowdfund the Green Dusties. Absolutely. You know what? Thank you, everybody. Thank Captain.
There you go.
So I'm going to set up a Kickstarter. No, not a Kickstarter. I'm going to set up a. What's the one that lets you keep it even if you don't hit the goal? Whatever. Indiegogo.
Oh damn! Which one was it?
GoFundMe. Indiegogo.
Indiegogo.
Absolutely, I'm going to make that.
And you know what you do? You do the tiers, things that you used to give for free. So you tell people like, oh, when we reach 15,000 pre-orders, guess what? I'll draw on each box for you. And people are like, hey, this used to be free. What the fuck's cool? He used to draw for free. Now it's not free.
Be prepared to get punched in the head at the next convention.
I can't wait.
So,
well, content, baby, content.
Cap Lives was also asking earlier about October updates. October is in the planning stages as we speak, my friends, and we are hoping to get the prompt list out fairly soon. Absolutely. I do want to give people enough time to prep. I know sometimes we do it at the 11th hour. I don't want it to be that way this year. But we'll see. But the planning stages are definitely in effect right now. They have been for about a week or so. So just stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled. That's it.
Oh, one final thing real quick. If you've enjoyed seeing us here with our faces all on camera at the same time, you may enjoy seeing us all hanging out in person for the first time at San Diego this past summer. So go my channel, youtube.com/Popster360, and go check out the SDCC 2023 vlog. It's a solid near 40 minutes, very entertaining. Go check it out. Leave a comment. Do all that stuff.
Massive content.
Massive.
Right, take us out.
There you go.
All right. Like I said, I did get a chance to look at the Street Human figure early, so I'm editing that. That should be up shortly. Tomorrow's day off with the family. My nephew's playing tomorrow, so I'll be watching the game. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us this evening. Give us what you got. Give us your comments. And, be respectful or not. It's up to you.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. He loves you no matter what. Thank you for hanging out. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell down there. And until next time, peace.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
All right, buddy. I'll catch you around the bend later.
You're all thinking over here, I think.
No, dude, this is legitimately just water.
Oh, it's just water?
Is there any way to prove that that's not vodka?
No, it's water. I'm playing Baldur's Gate. All right, boys. I'm already in. Load it up. Goodbyes.
You know, you're the people that you're the type of people that moms want their kids about. You're gonna turn into a guy that's just playing this game all the time, getting his ass instead of working a toilet.
Work in a toilet.
Yeah.